What's good, people, and welcome to another chapter of the O.O.C. with my people down. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Salute.
We're going to start it off with the date, May 1st, 2024, to document this shit, because it's going to get righteous up here today.
Oh, yeah.
So, Nzo,
Yes.
people know who you is and what you does.
You guys know Bigger Ford Entertainment. You are on the channel, but Roberto will be hosting the show tonight, so get used to it because it's going to happen a little bit more often. So you guys know where to find me.
That's right. Nadia?
You can catch me in the low-key cave whenever we live. That's why you need to turn on them notifications and subscribe.
That's right.
Facts.
And last but not least, Mr. J.G. Shaolin Terrific.
You know me, J.G. Shaolin, the final boss of the chambers of the Shaolin Temple. Waka! Catch us live Wednesday nights on the O.O.C. with the man leading charge, Roberto, a.k.a. Mr. 100, a.k.a. No trouble that the air queen gonna be iron. No woman, no cry. And of course, we got Nzo. And of course, we got Nzo, a.k.a. Oh, fuck. I forgot what I was going to say. We got Nzo.
Started off with Nzo. We twisted it on you, man.
Yeah, you get Nzo first, man. I'm kind of lost. We got Nzo, a.k.a. the Rabbit, and the Osiris of the shit, the Spliff King and the Professor of Ganja, alongside one half Low-Key Cave Nadia, a.k.a. the Freestyle Queen. Yo, Drake may be coming to you to help him out with that Nick's Kendrick diss track, spitting that fire and brimstone on the
Yes, that's the reinvented intro because we got JG a little bit out of the norm. Usually Nzo is on the left and I'm on the right, but tonight we did a little switch up.
Absolutely.
So, Nadia, did Nzo send you the link of these two chaps? Because they don't seem to know anybody else's name on the show. So I'm going to refer to them as chaps. Two chaps that had backlash to our show last week. Did you get that link?
Did I get a link? Oh, yeah. And I stayed there throughout the whole thing. And I'm in the comment section and I'm like, so if you got some critiques, haha, I'm here. And then I'm saying, I'm talking back. And I mean, but they're not, they're responding, but they not like I'm here. Like, and there was a lot of assumptions going on and they don't, and it's a selective hearing. Because I swear we was all saying the same thing. And like I said, the only difference is spanking is on the table for us. For them, it's completely off the table. Nobody wants to see their children get abused. No one's advocating for abuse. And everyone in everything in every situation does not deserve a spanking.
Yes, we all agreed on that. We all agreed on it, but they chose to neglect that shit.
Now, I'm mad that they chose to neglect. When I came in hot with my woes of parenting and how I was talking, because that's how I talk, man. And I'm not going to be nobody different just because people feel uncomfortable about me saying little motherfuckers, whatever, okay? Now, you had to take the playback. Anyway, no, because I was referring to children in that manner. And then, people like, oh my God, you would call children that? Not to their face. Like, I'm talking to other group of adults while my children are not present in the room. And I'm talking about how sometimes you feel about your children and his woes. And then right after that, I said, but children don't deserve to be spanked because they do children stuff. But all of that was ignored. And here my character is being
the angry black woman from Canada.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Because I thought about that shit. I was like, let me come. So I came off so aggressive. So now I'm an angry black woman. I laid down and had kids just because I wanted to have kids. Blah, blah, blah. When people don't even know my fucking situation, I was right there. You could have asked me. But you made assumptions. And then yes, I came with a lot of energy. And maybe that's the energy you read, but you misread my energy because I was coming off as a frustrated parent. Yes, because children are frustrating. Well, oh my God. And I'm at the age of frustrating children.
You speak
but I love them.
Yeah. That's it. You speak your piece. There's no there.
Bruh,
you spit everything out you got to spit.
My whole life,
Facts.
everybody always told me, "Why you so aggressive when you talk? You got that ain't how you supposed. Don't talk to me
Change the
then."
channel. It's as easy as that. Move
Don't
Facts.
talk. Move
next.
around me. Move around. You will not tone police me.
See, I
Facts.
have to defend my partner here because they only made reference to Anzo, Anzo this, Anzo that, Anzo this. Now
Yeah.
they brought a female on the show to counter you, but she was
Woman.
rainbows and flowers and
Woman. They brought a
sorry,
they
they
brought
brought
a
a
woman
woman.
on the show.
Sorry, I apologize. I was a little heated from
And she
watching.
was a mother, but it sounded like she had a newborn, and I'm like, baby,
Wait,
newborn stages is hard, but when you get the toddler, they turn into a whole different person, and you be ready to square
Facts.
up with them
when they
sometimes.
could talk
Not
back.
that you would, not that you
Facts.
would. This is a feeling, and I'm
Mhm.
like, as a person that learned to control their feelings, because I had to teach another human to control their feelings, because I don't know how many, I don't know how many times I say that children are humans.
Mhm.
Like this,
Absolutely.
I don't know. And then people think that they're gonna be the perfect parent. You're gonna make mistakes. You're
Exactly.
gonna hurt your children's feelings. You're gonna let them down. You're gonna disappoint them. Not saying that you should intend on doing that and be lazy about shit and be neglectful. I'm saying no matter how hard you try and no how much you preach, they sounded like this is this perfect utopia world that when your child walk out the house, everyone's hi, how you doing? How you doing? It's some nasty people out here, and I need my kids to know how to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
KG, did you get that link?
I did not get the link because they knew we were gonna come with some extra fire for her. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Well, Anzo, my partner could just, maybe drop a little so like we always do, and you can hear
100%.
for themselves what they had to say because I couldn't really get through the first, I don't know, 2-3 minutes because every time I listen to it, I get all heated up. Where's Nerdman from?
Look at this
UK.
Okay.
bald
Mr.
Nemi.
America making fun of us backward Canadians. We can't get more backward than the UK. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Anzo, we did not come out with a diss episode. We were just talking about what they had to say. I felt like they came out with a diss episode. That's what I feel like.
See, that's how Nerdman is, right? And of course, it's all in fun and everything. But that's how he is because I had to do a stream where I had to go at him when he came at me and stuff like that. So yeah, they did it like that. And Nidhi even said, like, when we did ours and you watch it back, we laughing and
We
joking.
laughing and playing, yes. And I'm like, I'm a playful person. No matter how dark the subject is, I'm going to find a way to make it like I can't. I don't like being dark. I mean, I like being dark, but I'm going to laugh with it, like because life,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
life is real.
And
I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cut you off.
no,
I'm
it's
nice.
okay. And I'm just saying, like, we were laughing. These guys came so serious with it, So I was like, all right. I showed Roberto, and Roberto was like, boy, I am heated right now. So I was like, all right, keep that energy because we're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, don't worry. When you play the first couple of minutes of it, it's gonna come back to me. So we're gonna play the first couple of minutes of it. Let's go.
Host my TikTok lives with me. She is one of my favorite co-hosts. She stands on business, and she's
Don't
here
take
today.
no stuff. Don't take no stuff this year, long.
Would have lied down
Why
like
you
it's
do?
like
I
shotgun.
won't take your spot.
But we're going to react to what Anzo and the O.O.C's opinion is about our ideas on spanking. When you guys want to pause and make a comment, let me know.
No, straight up with it. They brought their sassy woman on to, like try and like take us out. But you know what? We've got our own sassy woman down here.
Watch
You
this
see?
guy, yeah? Watch
You see
this
now?
guy.
Now you
Why are
talking
we
about
pitting women against each other? You know what? This shit went over my head because I was.
Oh,
like,
it didn't go over mine.
It
When I
did go
heard
over
that, I
I
was
didn't
like,
even hear that part.
he's making like we brought a cave woman to the show to
Facts.
on the
And that's
fucking
what
show.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's why, like, I wasn't mad at Danny when he said it, but that's why I was like, I'm gonna check Danny though when he was like the angry black woman. No, I would not be called that. I would not accept you calling me that. I'm not gonna be rude about it. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm not. You're not calling me that. Don't call me that because I'm not that.
Uh,
And because that stereotype follows, especially dark skinned black women, and
Mhm.
people don't understand because people always want to discredit what a dark skinned black woman goes through because that don't happen to you. That never
mhm,
happened to you.
mhm.
No matter how pretty you are, people always still put Beyonce over Kelly.
Facts.
Why? Why aren't they just two
Kelly
beautiful
all
black
day.
women? And the fact that they
I,
felt like they was gonna sick her on me, no. Like I said, she did not check me. She did not come to me in the comment section. She did not talk directly to me, but she made a whole bunch of assumptions.
so, and that's
But
the
didn't
thing,
listen
right?
to my whole sentence though.
Right, that's the thing though, because when I was on K-Dot stream and we were originally talking about it, she was in the chat, and there was like certain things I was saying. Like I said, "Oh yeah, you better believe I'm gonna bust him upside his head," and she was like, "Oh, bust him upside his head," like you know what I mean? That's a horrible thing to say, and I was like, "It's a figure of speech. It's how we talk. I'm not
Exactly.
literally gonna
Y'all
bust
too
him
damn
upside his
Oh
head."
serious.
my
You know what I
God.
mean?
Oh
Y'all too
my.
damn serious.
I didn't even see that. Is that on this show? No, that's on the other
No,
show.
that was on another one. Yeah, bro. And I was like, oh, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean I'm really gonna
But
bust him upside his
before you
head.
start them, Monzo, before you start them,
Yes.
I just want to know, maybe because I'm old school, I'm born in dinosaur times. When I make reference to a kid and a child, I don't call my 15-year-old a child. I call him
Mm-hmm.
a kid. My kid,
Right.
right?
Right.
When I say child, I'm thinking infant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that a child could do that would make me want to spank him. Well, you're gonna
Right.
cry too much?
Right.
You can't say
Exactly.
anything to me. So we're not children beater up here in Canada.
Exactly.
We're talking when a kid could actually stand up to you, maybe even want to try and put his hands on you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna put up smoke signals. What are you gonna try and do to deviate the problem?
See, I
You
made
can't
those
beat him. You're gonna call the cops.
facts. I made those arguments, but it's like they always think like, oh, you find another way. You find another
But
way.
see, they
Yeah,
take
yeah,
our
yeah.
shit to
Then
the
you change your
extreme
channel
too.
from Wizard of
Mhm.
Oz.
Yeah,
They take
exactly.
our shit to the extreme, like we support abuse. And I was
Come on,
like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's wanting to abuse. Nobody.
Facts.
What?
pull the chainsaw, Anzo. Pull the chainsaw.
I will.
Let's hear these guys.
I will just want to say one more thing, and I think the problem with them is that they feel a spanking is abuse, right? That's the problem, right? They don't distinguish that there's a difference between spanking and abusing a child, right? They think, oh, if you're spanking, you're abusing. Like one of them on one of the streams, and it wasn't like anyone related, but he did a TikTok stream, and she came on and she said, even like a little tap on the baby's hand, oh, that's
A
abuse.
baby, but who's beating a baby?
But you gotta remember,
you know,
like you
you know
gotta
what I mean?
when you say baby. Are you talking about newborn infant baby? Are you talking? Because I have no grown
No,
woman that
talk
is baby, but
right.
Have
I
y'all
think
ever
maybe
been
she's talking
punched
about
by a
2, 3 years.
toddler?
Yes.
they got that freak.
Yeah.
No, my daughter punched me. Well, I'm like, who that? They look at who
Look,
did you punch me?
And
exactly. Then we
and
teaching them no, because if I hit you back, now think about look at my. This is when you start talking about stuff like you gotta think about
listen,
shit because there's consequences to your actions.
right.
And
And here's the thing. My son was, I think it was like maybe 3. We were playing, obviously, but he did one of them punches. And you can imagine how tall a 3-year-old is. And now you can imagine where that punch connected. Oh my God. Yeah, that was some pain. You're thinking a little 3-year-old. No, sir. It don't matter. That hurt. That, trust me, hurts. Spanking has too many X-rated uses. Yes,
Sorry, I'm new to
chill.
this and I didn't welcome our
Shit.
commentary. Chillmonger, Tony Robinson, welcome.
Thank you very much for popping in. Roberto, before we start, because last week we were supposed to do it and I didn't forget. These guys know because I did it already, but we always did you always try to keep up with the lingo. So
Mhm.
there was a couple ones I had for you. 304. A 304. She's a 304.
She's a 304?
Yeah. It means hoe.
Why?
Because it has to
H
do with the
isn't the third
calculator.
letter in the alphabet?
No, but if you do it on like a calculator, it spells out hoe or something like that.
So people are getting creative now, huh? They're just bored.
No,
with the regular
that's
English
what they
language.
used to do with pagers. So like,
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah,
That
but
said that was
pagers
from
was
the.
our time. I don't remember
yeah,
ever.
but
Me
now
neither.
they keep thinking that they're discovering something new
They're
when they're not
fucking bored.
realizing.
They're bored. They're all trying to be the next TikTok star. Let me invent some shit. That's all it's coming down to because it's pure stupidity. I can't keep up.
Yeah, okay.
Let my kids tell me 304. I got a surprise for them.
You have an FBA. You're gonna start hearing that a lot too. Foundational Black American.
So they can't say it to us?
No, we are not. We are not. We would be considered tethers because we're not born in America.
You got to get off the net, brother, man. They're changing you, bro. You got to get off, man.
Hey, it keeps you up to date because for a long time, I'm like, what the?
I'm about to go outdated, man.
Yo.
I'm about to
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know, I don't think we're going to make reference to 304, FGA, and all these other things, but, you know, thanks for informing me in case that shit does come up. I don't look like I'm lost and shit.
I'm going to keep you updated because now if you're walking down the street, you see some kids, I'm like, yeah, man, I just seen that 304. You know what it is now. You know what I mean? So let's listen to these guys.
Yo,
now.
Pop's got lingo, yo.
Yeah.
Sound like you been reading the Urban Dictionary.
You know?
I try to keep up.
I try to keep up.
Yeah, I try to keep up with the youngins. You know what I mean?
Got to be a newsletter out there somewhere.
I'm still only 35, so I got to stay on point with that.
Canadian asses, bro.
Wait, am I the
token? Wait, hold on. Did he say Canadian asses?
Yes. Here we go.
He's making reference to you and me, our asses.
Yes. Here we go.
Take us out, but you know what? We've got our own.
Hi, YouTube. I won't take your spot.
So as an American,
try and take us out, but you know what? We've got our own sassy woman down here to lay off the smack of down.
What's he doing with his right hand?
They're Canadian asses.
I thought it was weird that he was laying down too.
I can't watch it. Like, well, what's going on?
No, it feel like. Like he on a date or something. Like like you talking to your girl and she laying in the bed and you laying in the bed, so it's kind of like y'all laying in the bed.
That's what I said. He's like he's black chocolate up in here lying down sideways, calling us asses and shit. Nerd man, I always wondered why Nzo had hate for you every time you came on the show. I'm starting to see why now. I'm really starting to see why. Because man, you're dirty coming like that, man. You're on our show. We're laughing. We're all cool. And I don't YouTube, so I don't really know what you do. It's like you closed your door and you're out there calling us. I don't know how much people subscribe to that show. They all think me and Nzo are Canadian asses.
Yo, the fact that all this shit went over my head the first time. Like I said, because I was doing something. I was just doing a bunch of shit. So I was just waiting on them to get to the video. And the fact that we can't get past this shit.
I watched it at lunch, Lydia. I had to stop it. I said, man, they're going to wonder why I'm pissed off at work all of a sudden. Let me just stop this shit. Nzo will play it back when it's time to watch it.
I sent it to Roberto and he was like, what is wrong with these guys? And he was pissed. So let's go.
But yes, and I agree. This is a direct attack from Canadians to us Americans. You're not American, Nerdman, but as an American,
exactly
slander. These are Canadians with their
backwards opinions.
There's JG. But we'd be happy to have you guys.
LOWKEY.
And you know what? Let me say this because I've said this many times, and I'm gonna say it again. Nerdman is a white man in blackface, all right? And you guys are falling for his con. Trust me on that one. He is a white man in blackface.
And I defend myself against these Canadians. We have it geared up. Let's go ahead and get into it. If y'all want me to pause, y'all can make a comment. Let me know. But let's go ahead and get through it. Oh, and J-Lo, How is it so far, Jayla? I forgot this. How is Jayla doing? What's up, Jayla?
I mean, for the most part, it's going great, man. I mean, I find that we're still
or whatever.
Blah, blah. Now let me
I
stop.
You know what I
actually
mean?
Let me
had a
stop because
conversation
I'm
because
not.
I
I'm
didn't
not
really
rude.
get
No,
to
just like get to the thing. Get to the
express
whatever.
fully what
Yeah,
I was getting
exactly.
at because I think,
See, stop
like
right
all
there
of
for a
us,
minute,
this is
Yeah.
because he says he didn't really get to what his point he was making, and
Because
he
we
said,
didn't keep listening.
yeah, but not only that, he said that we didn't acknowledge nothing he said, and that's bullshit.
They didn't acknowledge nothing
Because
we said.
I said Nerdman made some valid points.
Yes, you did. And they play that part on the stream, Roberto. They play that part where you say Nerdman.
What kind of show they running up? Is this show called Hypocrisy? What's going on
They
up
just-
there, man? Making
Go
fun
ahead,
of us
Nadia, what you gonna
Canadians.
Nah, that's one of them things where I need to just shut up.
Yes, Nadia. Don't
I'm gonna
prove
say
them
too
right
much.
because you're the
I'ma
angry
say-
black woman.
Yes, I cannot be the angry
Let's
black
hold her
woman.
back on, so hold her back.
For real.
AG, where's your
honestly,
fire,
I think,
brother?
like,
You know
I'm trying to
what?
figure out every time Jayla talks, that right hand kind of keep motioning up and down. Like, watching. Now he's smelling his fingers and shit. Like,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, we're up for the UK tonight.
Hey, I told
I was driving and listening to this, so I was not looking at what they was doing.
I didn't see none of that.
I was at work, so I wasn't watching it either. I was listening to it at the same time.
thing.
Or I was cooking or something like. No, I think I was at work. I can't remember. They went late, but I was either doing something, so I wasn't really. But when you mentioned the hand moving up and down, I was like, "Yeah, what the hell is he doing?" And now JG, would it look like he's smelling?
Look how you paused it.
oh, nasty, stinky,
Whiff,
motherfucker.
time for a shower.
Facts. But to be honest with you, though, I think JG gets left out a lot in their conversation. Like they don't really mention JG a lot.
Did they say anybody's name besides you?
They know I would come at them. They know it.
Did they say Nadia, Roberto? I didn't hear nothing. All I heard was Nzo and the O.O.C.
I think
they only talked about my intro, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then they tried to go on our points, which we will go on to. So let's
all
continue.
of us, we have when we have like some opinion or whatever, we kind of can get a little bit of tunnel vision, right? And you're so convinced by your opinion, you're not even willing to kind of, what do they call it?
They
call
take
it,
so long. Why is it?
like
what?
He's long-winded.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Nerdman is so long, fucking winded. Oh my god!
It's a test. It's a test.
Look how long it takes him just to get his
The
point
intro,
out.
yeah, that's why I'm like.
I'll think of it.
I'm trying.
Anyway,
hold on, he's still going.
You might not be able to share your ideas as
it's still going
as and every child is different. You can't just expect that.
Okay, so here they finally play. Now here we go.
But let's go ahead and get into it. Guys, this is my first time watching the stream. I caught it halfway because I was
watching them, watching us.
I know.
This is my first time reacting to Anzo's opinion on it.
Point, because this is their way of thinking of why kids, you shouldn't beat their kids. So I'll bring this up real quick.
This worked with this one child I had, and therefore it's going to work with another child I had. So
nobody said that.
I'm not saying that spanking cannot work to discipline some children. I'm just saying for the vast majority of people, and even for those children where spanking does work, I believe there's more creative.
He got that like college professor voice.
Reward and punishment.
Is he a like? Who does he teach?
Does not man have children?
Are these kids paying attention?
I bet you we're all snoring. Are we still on chapter 1? We're 3 months in.
Wait. So quick comment I want to make about this.
Here.
I don't think even you don't need to have kids to have an opinion on this matter, because I have spanked my nephews and nieces before, and it's something I did not feel good about doing.
So I'm gonna pause it there for a second because first off, I honestly believe that no, you can't. If you have kids, you don't have kids. Yes, you can have an opinion, right? You can have an opinion on
Your
anything you
opinion
want
will
to,
change, period. Whenever
right?
you have
And you
kids, your opinion, I ain't saying it's going to change completely. I'm just saying it will change because you're in the thick of it.
exactly, and you can't disregard us who have kids and we know what it's like and our experience through having kids. You know what I mean? So you can't say that. Now, K-Dot also said he spanked his nephew, and I've said this to him, so it's not like I'm saying anything. That was not his place to do so.
I have never
Right?
touched none of my nephews.
Exactly. That
Not
is
one of
not
them.
his
And
place.
trust me,
That
they
is
deserved it a few times.
Like I said, my nephew bit me, and it was like what you doing type
right.
of, you know.
Yeah. But
But
just
I
actually,
never like full blown just no.
I have to agree with Onzo.
But
I think
absolutely.
it's the
we do
parents.
have that.
Excuse me. It's the parents that should do the disciplining. If anything, K-Dot should have told his brother or his sister, "This is what happened. How you handle it is how you handle it." But if that shit continues, they ain't coming to my house no more. Along those lines.
Absolutely. 100%. So that's all I'm saying. I was like, I don't think he had the right to do that. But what up, Saggy? Thanks for popping in. Rhea, sorry, I know your new name now, so I gotta kill that part of it. That's
Sorry,
so
I got my
funny,
wrong
guys.
glasses on.
Way to listen to my point. No, nerd man, we're listening to your point. Don't worry, we're gonna listen to your point. A nephew means one of the parents isn't your blood.
Oh, he's here, huh?
Yeah, nerd man's there.
Are you spying on us, nerd? Our ass Canadians, Mr.
No,
Nerdman?
I am not a Canadian. I am from the South.
Well, you know what? Tonight, you guys are honorary Canadians. We don't usually
Don't want to
give
be
the
right
pass out.
now. Don't want to be right now.
Wait, why not?
Kendrick drew the line in the sand. I gotta go there.
Oh my God! Really? All right, let's go.
That's why I stopped doing it. That's why this Friday, I'm about to apologize to them for doing that stuff. You know,
but I also think I mean it's kind of like gaslighting because first I said the whole thing and none of them respond to that thing, and then secondly they cut it off, and it's fine. I understand you're not going to watch the whole video or whatever, but they cut it off before I even get to any of the kind of main points of why I'm against spanking, right? So if you can't come back with an answer to the actual main points of why you're just going to sit there, create an argument that I made, which I didn't even make, right? And then roll off that. I think that's kind of, that was where I was like, I'm watching the video and it's interesting. It's nice to hear the other side of things, but I don't think they're responding to anything I was saying. That's my only point. Or anything you were saying.
May I comment?
Yeah, go.
You know,
I
it's
think
funny
a teacher is
on our show. I don't think we made reference to the UK or the US, did we?
No.
So I don't think our origin has any basis on our opinion. But you guys, with this word, I think that's more gaslighting. Yeah, but we never made word of that, Cynthia.
I peeped that though. I did peep that though, that they was like putting in extra stuff. But to be honest, where you grow up and where you live has a big difference of the children.
Yes, but we
and
didn't
the way
make mention of that. We're talking about a topic.
Not at all.
We didn't say, oh, in the UK, do they even beat their kids? I don't even know what they do over there because no one really cares.
The only thing we did talk about regionally is like from state to state is different in the United States. And
if you're allowed to.
Laws and shit.
Yeah.
Because we're not allowed to do it over here.
Right.
So that's the only reference we made.
And then for state to state is different.
So let's see who's keeping it more real. That's all I'm trying to say.
I've been raising kids almost 30 years. Used to be able to bust an ass in the middle of a store. Now you're a bad one for taking away electronics and a bad one when they do bad for lack of discipline. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lose-lose situation, sci-fi. It's a lose-lose situation because you can't do nothing. The kid is still bad. And he's probably, if he's doing it to you, the last person he should do it to, what's he doing when he leaves the house?
Facts. Exactly.
Perfect
And a
person.
teacher's the first one's going to feel it.
And then here we go.
Comment on the idea of spanking children. You guys learn early
and I was
childhood
a teacher
development.
before I was a mother, and I still chose not to have an opinion. Like, I used to be like, well, when I had children, this is what I'm going to do. But I wasn't saying it to say like, oh, you're wrong for doing what you're doing. I was just saying, this is what I'm going to do when I'm a parent. It was never no judgmental stuff. Not like you shouldn't do this and did it. I don't think, bruh, it's so much to go into parenting that we ain't got time to be shaming each other. We should be helping each other, because where the fuck the village at? Where the fuck the village at?
100%. You know what I mean?
We too busy judging each other though.
And I'm never
give
gonna
your
judge
kids processed food.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna judge anybody on how they raise their kid, as long as they're not like abusing the child. You know what I mean? If they're a good parent and they're raising their kid and they don't want to spank their child, then okay, good for you. I hope it works for you. But if you're raising your kid and you do spank your child every now and then when they do something wrong, then I have no problems with that either. You know?
You guys are mandated reporters. You guys know the signs of abuse, etc. So I think a teacher has a lot to say in this conversation, especially somebody who deals with way more than 3 kids at home every day. And those
but when they go home, ain't no kids at their home.
Exactly.
You get to go to sleep when you want. You get to wake up when you want. You nobody's life is dependent on you. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. They be like, "Oh, teachers can do things. Teachers can yeah, these children's lives are in my hands while they're at the school, but so is the rest of the you know what I mean? Like, it's a team of us where these children's lives are in our hands, but they go home to their parents. I can't make medical decisions for these kids without talking to their parents first.
Exactly.
So therefore, until you are somebody's sole provider and you are doing a medical stuff, like I don't think people understand about that whole like making medical decisions for your child. Like it's yes.
And a lot of the things that they're trying to do in school too, right? That don't involve you being a parent. Like, I'm the parent. You're not teaching my kid like certain things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do. You're not touching my son. You're not doing anything. Like, if you have an issue, you contact me, right? But what I'm saying is, yes, you may be able to have kids every day, different kids, right? Every year, you made me a teacher for 5-10 years. Every year you have different kids, but you don't go home to kids. And that's a huge difference, because you go home, you kicking off your feet, you watching whatever you want to watch, right? You don't have to worry about feeding another child or putting them to bed, making sure their homework is done. You don't have to worry about none of that. So it's totally different, right? It's not.
I've been an aunt since I was 15, so yeah.
Exactly.
The homework you gave them.
You know what I mean? Let's go.
So I think it was very valid that you could comment on it.
Right, and yeah, thanks for saying
you
that.
Can comment,
and
you
the
can have
other
an
thing
opinion.
is, not only did I study like pedagogy, but I also studied psychology. A lot of the reason I did that was because
I study psychology too. I ain't got no degree, but I am very interested in it. It's a hyper focus of mine.
I've been studying humans since I'm 4 years old.
Yes. Oh my God. This is why I liked working with children, because I would like when it's like when you just supposed to be watching them, I'm observing. I am looking at the way they interact with each other. I'm listening to their conversations. And I'm just like mentally observe. Like, it's just so much about human interaction that you can learn from just observing children. And I'm doing my job, but I'm also like, that's why I'm like, it's a lot of shit that I could, like, when they used to be like, can you do this? Like, we used to have to do psych evaluations, like, just you had to fill in a certain box. We wasn't the psychologists evaluating the students. I'm just saying they would ask like the teacher. I was in there writing like, they do this and this don't think. You know what I mean?
100%.
I didn't think I have majorly.
Go ahead, JG.
Big thing I have when someone starts out by saying I studied and read psychology. Psychology is very
I'm
black.
smarter than you.
It's very black. It's always that gray area that psychology still kind of argues with, right? So you say you have a first grader, right? He's having trouble with math. Then you have another first grader. You have 2 first graders having trouble with math, right? One first grader, trouble with multiplication. The other one has trouble with fractions. I don't know. What the fuck am I saying?
Okay, you get it. You get it.
I'm medicated right now. I'm still trying to get it. Okay.
Look,
You get it.
I'm following you. I'm like, where you going with this?
I'm medicated. Sinus medication.
No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. That's all I can tell the subject.
That's kind of where I was getting. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say you have a lot of kids, especially a lot of young black boys, who are sent to these special classes, right? Because psychology tells them, okay, well, maybe they're doing bad in certain subjects because they're mentally just don't understand it, right? Instead of look at the fact that maybe these kids probably got one parent at home, they're always working, and they don't have anybody disciplining them enough to tell them, hey, do your homework.
Yeah, the parents can't do the homework. The parents can't help them.
Some of them,
I remember being in middle school crying because I could not do my homework and my mama could not help me with algebra.
And you know,
are you guys looking at the screen while you're talking?
What's that?
Are you guys looking at the screen while you're talking? Because this is fucking confusing, man.
What's confusing?
All these different boxes. I feel like, okay, we're on the bottom now.
I think
Sonic is messing me up, man.
I think no, Robert. I think this is a first because this is a stream watching a stream watching another stream.
This is the first on YouTube.
Another stream. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hilarious.
Where did he go?
You know, household, but it was enough. Well, you know, my stepdad was a bit of a bastard, but you know, that aside, my mother was not. She was much nicer, and my dad never laid a finger on me. So, but having studied psychology, I don't want to pull that card on people. You know, like the way they're pulling like the parent card kind of thing. But I don't want to pull that card. I just say like, okay.
Absolutely, right? Because again, you know, you have all these stats and statistics and stuff like that, right? And you can find and that's why I don't really like. I understand stats can give you like a broad example of certain things, right? But for me, it's like it's because if you take statistics about 10 people in America or 100 people in America and ask them about racism, and then you do it in Canada, you're going to get totally different answers. UK, you're going to get totally different answers. The statistics are going to come out different. You know what I mean? So for me, for statistics, it has to be like a worldwide, wide range thing to get actually a real idea of how these things actually play out. You know what I mean? So Nerdman said, I'm not being judgmental. I think you're taking it personal. I talk about spanking kids the way I talk about vaccinating a kid. Vaccinating is good. Doesn't matter what the parent thinks. So first off, we ain't taking it personal, but you got to know we coming at you, bro. You know what I mean? It's never personal. It's never personal, but we ain't going lightly on you, brother. Canadian assholes. You know what I mean?
And talking about vaccinating the kid and disciplining the kid are they're totally different things.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, this is what I've learned, or this is what I understand from, you know, these various sources, including teaching. And so of course, being a parent gives you a different perspective, and that's why I'm listening to them. You know, that's why I want to hear them out. But at the same time, dealing with 20 to 30 rowdy kids in a class is another challenge, you know, that I'm sure I'd be interested to see how all of these guys take that on.
Well, listen, I know how it was in some of my classes. So yes, 100%. I understand that it may be hard. You know what I mean? To deal with 30 children in a class every year. 100%. But at the end of the day, that bell rings and you go home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You go home. You're not taking those 30 kids home with you. So let's continue, because
you know, on a daily basis, because it can drive you mentally insane. Look at
it, man, you're doing it for at least 8 hours a day.
Yeah. I mean,
with weekends, holidays, and summers off, unless you're tutoring and doing after school. I used to teach and go upstairs and go do after school So I was with this.
Remove that hour lunch. Remove those 2 breaks. Remove transfer from
Hold
other
on.
classes to other classes. Are you teaching elementary? Are they in your class all day, nerd man? Or are we talking about high school students who are in your class for an hour and then they're going to 6 other classes?
Exactly.
K-Dot can butter you up all you want, but us educated Canadians, not to say that our hosts over here, Americans, aren't educated as well, but you seem to be calling us out, not knowing that we have 2 Americans on here to get a full North American perspective, not just a biased American and a UK guy.
Facts.
I don't even know where she's from.
I'm just saying, Roberto is cooking tonight, guys.
Yes.
So thumbs up the stream.
You know I love tennis.
I
love tennis, boy. You serve the weak serve.
And now we hitting that motherfucker right back, brother.
It's just
sir.
Focused on their kid. But you're dealing with a multitude of children from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different things going on mentally. So I'll say
what I found from the thing I found from that limited perspective on having responsibility for a child, because it's not the same perspective as a parent. There's some crossovers, but like it's not the same perspective. Yeah. But from that limited perspective, what I found out is that creative methods work with the vast majority of children. They actually do. Creative methods of teaching, making, finding ways of disciplining, but also rewarding children for talents, for finding creative ways of utilizing their talents to do projects, do other things. I think it actually works, and even if it doesn't work at first, you might see some resistance to it at first. Over the long term, especially when they see that you genuinely care, and I'm just talking from a teacher, I'm not saying this from a parent's point of view, but when they see that you care, slowly it starts working, and the discipline.
We can't control him.
What's that?
He's not live on our show. Please do not let him run our whole show like he would.
No, I know.
Pass his ass and let us talk, please.
I will.
But going to go on, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to his point so that we can move on to something else.
His point is so long. I don't even know what the point is anymore.
I know, bro.
He's still talking.
I know, bro. I know. Trust me. I know. But go ahead, Roberto. You have something to say? Go ahead. You forgot?
Because I'm listening to him and I'm waiting for the punchline. What is he making reference to now?
So he's trying to make a correlation that being a teacher, there's some sort of crossover. It's not the same thing, but there's similarities.
We got that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, let's
development of children, where they're at cognitively. Jayla, you probably disagree with me on this. I agree with Nzo that there's nuance to every kind of argument. Just being completely black and white on something is, I think, a limited perspective. My only thing is that even if spanking works on, like, say, 1 out of like every 1,000 children, or even like 1 out of 100 children, right? I still think even in that one special case of a child where it works, that nonetheless you probably could have done other things that are less risk averse.
So pause it there, because as we've said many times, that spanking is the last resort, right? So if you're saying you could have tried other things, we tried other things. We've tried other things. We tried everything to the point where we are now exhausted because we have tried everything. Roberto, you're muted.
This is why parents today are friends with their kids, and their kids aren't afraid of their friends, because only a friend would try their best over and over to make you understand what's wrong. Because if he doesn't, then it's a fight, and then you bust his head and you're not friends no more. But I'm your dad after I bust your head. So to avoid all of this confusion, no, I'm just saying, you're not going to fight me.
No,
so don't
no,
think
I'm saying that they're going to be
way.
like, no, you said bust his head.
I don't.
We not using that as a figure.
I
but
don't
they
care.
don't
I
get
feel you, but I don't care. I am not censoring my way of speaking for
I get
their
you.
misunderstanding our Canadian quotes.
I mean, I'll be
Facts.
real with you, Roberto. That's
We're-
not a Canadian quote. That's just we all know that quote. My
Yeah,
mom
but you
always
see,
bust your
I'm
head.
only going based off of what they said, JG, because they only make reference to Canadians this while they're bashing us.
The thing is, when you have kids, you understand what that means.
Yes,
And
and that's all
they
we're saying.
understand what that means. They know that you're not really gonna do that, but they don't.
Exactly.
It's like, but I ain't trying to find out what you actually gonna do, or if you actually are gonna do that. And then, like I said, they thinking it's the threat. It's
What
the
happens
threat.
when a child? Oh, sorry, let me remove that because a child is still young. What happens when a kid doesn't respect his mom or his dad? What happens?
Well,
you get them kids that was on Super Nanny that was smacking their parents and biting their siblings and shit.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
I say those kids, those parents, put those kids somewhere for 8 hours that they don't have to deal with them because they're very demanding, very time consuming. You can't leave them alone for a minute because I find, at least my experience growing up, because we've all experienced bad kids growing up in school. The bad kids that I knew were usually older. They failed a couple of times. They have a lot of brothers. And they're misunderstood. So their way of getting back is rebelling. And they're usually smarter. They will think of hurting you or getting back at you, unlike ways that kids that don't deserve beatings would think. You know, like a kid would literally burn his house down because his parents took his phone away. Not all kids do that. That's why that kid deserves a beating, and not all kids do.
That kid
There's
needs psychological
ranges.
help if it's burning
Yes,
down houses.
there's psychological help.
Bump the beating. You need. I'm gonna need.
But at that point of him burning down the house, he's getting a beating, and then he's getting psychological help. He needs to know that he did wrong. Because if I just put him in psychological help, they're just gonna talk to him like Nerdman and K-Dot would do. You know what you did was wrong. You shouldn't do that again. Where did you get those matches from? No, that's not going to solve the problem. That kid's sitting there saying, who the fuck are these Uncle Tom Howdy Doody guys? Man, get these guys out my face, man, before I burn this place down. You know? Those are the bad kids we're referring to. But you make it seem like we're just a bunch of Canadians ringing doorbell. You have any kids? Let me beat them. Let me beat them. We don't roll like that. We don't beat kids because we want to beat them. You know who they are.
Paul said I was spanked as a kid. I haven't ever spanked my daughter. She's fine. I found other ways to discipline her that work.
Because all kids, it doesn't work on all kids, and all kids don't
that's right. Spanking. It doesn't work on all kids.
Exactly. That's what we're explaining.
And we're not saying that's the first thing that you're supposed to try. We said that is the shit where you just like, look, what
the verbal.
What else can I do?
Do that again, you're getting a beating. They did it again, you didn't beat them. Do it again, you're getting a beating. They did it again, you didn't beat them. At what point are they knowing that you're bluffing? Your beating comment has no value. So you're just talking bullshit now.
Absolutely.
And take it back on what
you try some different bullshit. I'm going to take away this, or you're not going to the movies, but how many times could you take the movies and their phone away?
So Nirman said, I teach English and drama in high school. I teach elementary in general.
If you don't sit his UK,
you know what I'm saying? Anyway. You fucking teach elementary and you talking your shit, right? You ain't even in the.
Bruh. I don't have to spank my daughter either, right? My voice alone. Hey, stop doing this. She does it, right? Me, I needed my ass spanked as a kid, right? I did. I needed it. My daughter, from me, does it. So yeah, I get you, Paul. I'm the same way. I don't have to spank my daughter at all.
And I needed it too. I know. Listen, man. There were times, right? And I told you guys already, like, on the last stream, where I had to. No, I don't think I told you. I told on those guys, but I was messing up in school big time, right? So it was to the point, and my dad was like, "This is what I'm saying. Like, when you exhausted everything you could do, my dad was like, he would talk to my principals, call up the school, right? I used to have to go to each classroom and get my teacher to write down if I had homework or not.
Yep,
right?
same for me.
I would still come home and not do my homework.
Yep.
One time, my dad, like, because my dad had this thing, right? It's like, listen, if you want to go out and play, you come home from school, we had dinner, and that's another thing that I think is missing too, because we used to have dinner around the table. Me, my mom, my dad. I was always like that every day, right? Then I'd have to go and do my homework. Once my homework is done, I could go out and play and do whatever I wanted to. So I would go in the room and pretty much pretend like I was doing my homework. One time my dad popped up at the door and I was in the room playing cards. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do after that? You know, like you're messing up in school. I'm calling the teachers every day. I'm doing all of this stuff to try and get you to do good in school. And then I catch you in your room playing cards. And I used to have a TV in my room. So sometimes I would pop on the TV and watch little cartoons before I'm supposed to be doing my homework. You know what I mean? And if he catches me, like,
you see the shit Nerdman's writing?
Hold on, I gotta get to it here. Maybe your class and teachers were crap on, so maybe he could have got you a private tutor who could make lessons.
With what money? Who makes money?
So
y'all act like money just grow on trees and everybody is financially stable enough. And then
maybe that's how it is in the UK.
No, but then their argument is going to be, well, why did they have children if they wasn't financially ready? Who the fuck can afford children now? That's why people, Gen Z got pets. They ain't got kids because they can't afford them. So damn it, he's not going to be talking about the population dropping, but what the fuck ever, you know.
He did, Paul. He did take my TV. He did everything, right? My dad has tried everything. Listen, one time I got into a fight in school and got suspended, right? And before I even got home, he knew. Because my principal called him. That's how close he was to my teachers and my principal in school, right? Because my dad never wanted me to mess up. He wanted me to do good in school, and I was just still messing up regardless. So, never had a TV in my room until 9th grade, but then again, that was 1990. Laughing my head, yeah. So let's continue. We'll try to get into this because it's long, and I know we ain't gonna be able to do all of this, but we'll get into most of it.
Spanking. Now, if you look at and I'd love you to respond to this, if you look at a lot of the literature that's around spanking, or a lot of studies that have shown the long-term impacts of spanking and how it actually changes one's brain chemistry as a child. For instance, it creates higher levels of stress, worse ways of dealing with stress as well, so stressful situations. So
why are you not teaching your child stress management?
And not only that, right? I was stressed because I knew I messed up and was getting a beating. I knew I messed up. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just, we're going to beat the child and they're stressed out. No, the child is stressed because they know they effed up. They know they did something wrong. I knew I did something wrong.
But
go ahead, Roberto.
Nerdman's too vague. He's making it seem like, the kids that are getting a beating that should not be getting a beating, yes, they got PTSD from it and traumatized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could bring you 1,000 kids that I grew up with that all got beatings, and they all have kids today, and their kids are normal, getting A's, and everybody's normal. Mm-hmm. So these studies can kiss my fucking ass.
From words.
These studies are a plot to fuck up the household.
How many people
the minute you took away this beating kids, that's when everything went fucking right. Everything just fucked up.
Go ahead, Nadia. You were saying?
How many people got EDs from words that people said to them, and that's
verbal abuse.
Oh yes, verbal.
Yeah,
verbal bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I said, my situation when I was in an abusive relationship, it was never physical. It was always verbal, and that shit did. I'm not saying my shit was worse than physical. I'm just saying it was just as bad. So like, just pointing out that physical abuse changes the brain chemistry. So does verbal abuse. So does neglect. All of this shit, because like I got abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I wonder why. Like, and I know why, but like I'm just saying, like that didn't come from getting the spanking. Like I said, the shit that happened to me, the things that I don't want to say wrong because there ain't nothing wrong with me. The things that
And right, Paul.
What's the
That's I
word I'm
think that's
looking
what we're
for?
all is that
Well,
The
we
things
gotta
that
change.
fucked me up were more like words and the lack of attention than those spankings that I thought I didn't deserve. I'm just being
and
honest.
no, I agree with you. I didn't like the
But that's
verbal
just
abuse
me, and I'm
either.
one person.
I didn't like the verbal abuse either. And yes, and we've said that,
Mhm.
right? Okay, again, it's also spur of the moment thing, but like we said, like if you're angry, like that angry, you need to
You're
calm
not
yourself
supposed to.
down at first, right?
Exactly.
You're supposed to calm yourself down first. You know what I mean?
And they
But you
said something about spanking responsibly, and I'm like, do they think we just hauling off and smacking kids?
facts,
And I'm
facts,
like, no, we spank responsibly because we wouldn't want we said that in the first stream is don't do it while you mad. Go calm down. If you can't get if you can't calm down, then just forget about it. Don't even do nothing. Just
But see,
walk it
that's
out.
why earlier when I said Nerd Man speaks from a black and white point of view. We're talking about the gray area that we know from our experience as parents,
mm-hmm,
right?
100%.
And I don't get it. I don't get it.
Let's go.
The end, it actually, and it kind of, so in the end, let me just deal with this kind of stress issue that it raises. In the end, it actually causes long-term psychological impacts
So yeah, Nerd Man goes
for
on with
abused as children. Higher
Well, that's
rates of that,
because
higher rates of depression,
we
higher rates
understood what
of
he was getting at, right?
well,
even
that
down the
Yes,
line.
it's a,
unaliving rate,
Unaliving, yeah.
that rate is coming from the fact that we find that children who are spanked or abused, which spanking is abuse to me, there's no separation for me, but
I think there's
those
a little
children
separation.
experience borderline personality disorder, where they have
Mhm.
black and white thinking and they can't properly
I like what
regulate
Nerd Man's
emotion.
talking about.
But yeah, Nerd Man said a little bit different.
Did they just prove my
Ooh,
point?
this girl. Ooh, I mean,
Did they
sorry,
just
this
prove a
lady.
point? Did
Yep.
they just prove our point? Didn't we just say Nerd Man thinks from black and white situation?
Yep.
And didn't he
Mhm.
say he was I don't know if he
And
said he was
so
abused, but he was spanked. He was wrongfully spanked as a child, and
Mhm.
he sees in the black. Didn't they just say they just proved that damn point? You just proved the point. Just
Absolutely. Let's see what else is going on here. All right, let's continue. Because they talk about trauma, right? And again, like
they are impulsive when they're splitting, and
yes,
they do
but
unalive themselves. And in other countries, people who have borderline personality
people
disorder
unalive themselves from
participate
words
in life.
too, not just spanking, not just
mhm.
hitting, not just physical violence.
Bu-
Words
bullying
hurt.
from peers and everything, 100%.
Bullying from the internet, like y'all,
Yes,
they
yes,
like I said,
yes,
they trying to make it seem like just physical hitting is the end all be all, and then
yes.
everyone's gonna just you're gonna be so fucked up just for one spanking. And I'm like I said, I only had one spanking from my daddy. That ain't what fucked me up. Not saying that he fucked me up, but I'm just saying, that ain't what put a strain in our relationship at one point in time. It wasn't over that one spanking. It was a bunch of different stuff.
I never got a beating from my dad for no reason.
Facts.
He didn't come home drunk, mad from work, mad at the life, whatever, bills, and beat the shit out of me. And that's the picture that when people like her speak, depict. That's how you kind of see it. Like we're savages. What PTSD? You would have to beat me every fucking day with a weapon to have PTSD. And again, I don't think that's happening. And if that kid is that bad, then you got to do something else.
Facts. Which is what we've said many times. Like yes, we do agree that there are other things you can do. We just don't think spanking should be off the table. When you've exhausted all that you've exhausted and you can't do no more, then I think there is that one more option. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But your therapy and all that stuff you talk about, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? You
I'm
can't
yet to
just
see a
think.
video, Anzo, like that kid we saw. I'm yet to see a video where a parent is negotiating with a kid and the kid listens and sits down. It's always that parent negotiating gets slapped up, cursed out, food or drinks thrown on them. It's always something. The kid gets more irate.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's what we talked about with sometimes you take the kid, you say, okay, I'm going to take your phone from them, and that phone is their life, and they flip out because you took their phone. Like they go bananas, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you took my phone. Trust me, they don't like that.
Because that's how bad it is to live with this disorder. I actually do have it. So, I mean, honestly, is it worth the risk just to hit a child? You wouldn't hit a dog. You wouldn't hit your wife. You wouldn't hit your husband.
I'm my wife.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm my wife. I'm my wife.
The wife will get Michael.
You know what?
They care about dogs more than they care about people.
I was gonna say the same thing. Sometimes, yeah, you know what I mean. That dog gotta get us. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And
we had pits, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that there's nothing really that you could beat them with that they're actually hurting, like unless you're cutting them. But I used to roll up a magazine, not even a thick magazine. Roll up a magazine. And it's not even at a tap. I want the noise to make him think.
Get a noise.
Yeah.
So when I roll 100%. Up that magazine, he's not doing it no more. I'm not beating him still.
100%.
It's a deterrent. I don't want to do it, but if you keep doing what you're doing, you have to know in life there's consequence. You do 100%. Good, you're rewarded. You do bad, you're punished.
And I don't know if you guys ever own pit bulls, but those are one breed of dog that you have to make sure that dog knows that you are the master, right? Because if you don't, those dogs will go crazy, bro.
They're smart. They're too damn smart.
Way
they are
smart.
One of the smartest breeds. And if you don't let them know what's up, it's the same with cats. Like you gotta give cats they roam an area, but you also gotta let them know who the alpha is. It's with any animal. And
but pit bulls are different, Nadia. Pit bulls
I know.
That I've seen at the SPCA. If you want to adopt a pit bull, you have to do counseling with somebody, and they're going to interrogate your lifestyle. Is someone home all the time? Is someone there to be with the dog all the time? If
in
not,
Canada, they got it.
Yes, because you leave this dog alone, you're coming home to no furniture.
In Memphis, they do.
Everything that you love, this dog knows, and he's going to destroy.
It's the same with labs. Labs will eat anything. Labrador retrievers, they will eat anything. Trash, shoes, clothes.
Only the pit bull breed we have to do a little in like a little one-on-one with the potential owner to see how they live if we can give this dog to them.
And because it's a lot of laws, like it's a lot of apartment complex that discriminates against dogs. Like different breeds.
Pit bulls are banned in some areas. I don't know if they still are, but they're banned.
No, that woman killed that thing to get reelected.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But then when it comes to this small human, and then people will say, what? Well, they wouldn't understand what I was saying if we had a conversation. So do you think they understand why you're hitting them? On top of that,
they have
your
not
father
even
hitting your
listened to
daughter,
us yet.
the chances of her getting into an abusive relationship when she's
they
older
still ain't even got into
way
the
higher
than
just a normal child.
And these are the kind of, thank you, you've said it so eloquently, and these are the kind of risks that I was talking about that are associated with spanking. So yes, it may have worked with.
Did you hear the word she used?
It may have worked.
Infant.
Infant when they were kids.
Who hitting the infant?
Who's hitting the infant?
Who is hitting the infant? Who is hitting the infant?
Nobody's hitting an infant.
To be fair, does the government spank you when you do something wrong, or what about your boss constantly taught without spanking?
There's consequence to everything.
Yes.
You don't pay your bills, they cut the power, they turn the cable off, that's what happens.
It's not spanking, it's still a form of stuff. They can dock your pay, you can get written up, they can do, it's so many things that they can do. It's a form of spanking, but they're not physically hitting you. But they can physically hit them damn pockets.
But you know why they do it, right? You don't pay your electric bill. You know why they cut off the electricity? So you can see what it feels like to live without it and not do it again. And if you do it again, we cut your electricity again. And it's going to be the same thing. So if you don't learn, you burn. And the same thing happens with a kid. You try, you get a little more severe, and if they still don't learn, you keep trying, but licks are going to come eventually if you don't catch all those previous lessons.
Facts.
But again,
and if anyone's going to give the licks, it's the parents.
Parents should be the ones to do it, 100%.
To reparent there, or whatever happened with them. Obviously, they've turned out to be decent people, as adults. So fine.
Which goes to show you that sometimes you can spank a child and they will grow up with no issues. You have 4 people on the panel right now who have been spanked, right?
Yep.
Knew why we were getting spanked and have no issues, like those type of mental issues to where, we needed therapy and wanted to off ourselves. And you know what, to be honest with you.
No, that came from the neglect.
and I didn't even dislike my parents. I knew, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, I can't stand my father because he did this and he did. No, I deserved it. And I know today I deserved it because nothing else worked. You didn't beat me, took away everything. You know what I mean? There were times where I used to get everything for Christmas. And then when I started messing, I got nothing. Boxers and cologne. That's all I got for Christmas. Yeah, exactly.
Candy bar.
You know what I mean? 100%. So he tried everything. He tried everything.
Highlight Nerdman's comment when they say spanking, they're talking about beating with a belt.
Yeah, which one? This one here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when they say spanking, they're talking about beating with a belt, a bop on the bottom, or a hand is certainly not abuse in my mind.
Who said who beating with a belt?
No, none of us.
I mean, we did talk about beating with a belt.
So did I.
I got beat with a belt when I was little. Yeah, I needed that shit because I was a wild ass kid.
No,
but I've never hit my daughter with a belt. I never really had to speak her.
100%, Donnie. That's it. Donnie said Anzo's dad was like, show enough. Anzo, playtime's over, boy. Yes, all he had to do was give me that look, and I knew playtime was over. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's why, it's not like you say you have, because after a child, you discipline a child, maybe you have to beat them once. Then after that, you don't have to. You give them that look, raise your voice, right? And they know if it gets to an extent and they stop. They do. Anzo told me that when we talked about it, that I would beat with a belt. Yes, 100%.
Of course.
100%.
Especially a little boy. Oh,
I remember I was at fucking Kemp Park till midnight. I was still in elementary. And I'm walking down Plumbing Street, Anzo. Mm-hmm. And as I reach the middle of the block, I see this figure in the middle of the street holding like a belt.
Mm-hmm.
It was my dad.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to walk to a beating. I said you couldn't wait till I came upstairs. I got licks all the way upstairs, yo.
Facts. 100%.
Everybody in the building heard it.
And then what happened? Did you go out again after that?
No, you never saw me out at midnight again.
Exactly.
Go ahead, JJ.
I would say this. My dad had them big old fat military hands. If you ask me, would I rather have a belt by him or a hand? I'll take that belt any day. That hand fucking felt like stones hitting my ass. So yes.
You guys don't know what belts were like in the 60s and 70s. Them belts were fucking thick, man.
Oh yeah, my dad got me with.
Oh yeah, man. Them
that hand were killed
thick,
me.
Boy.
You talk about Toby? What's your name, boy?
Sometimes, to be honest with you, getting beat with a belt didn't hurt as much as getting beat with a hand. You know what I mean? Belt would sting a little bit, and they'd be like, and then you're good. You know what I mean? But
so what y'all saying is y'all like that stuff?
Like what stuff?
That's my wife.
Y'all like that
when
stuff.
When it's playtime, hey.
You talking about it didn't hurt that bad.
Exactly.
You like that stuff?
Yeah, boy.
100%. 100%.
Whatever it was.
Let's see if we can get to them going to another point.
And so their child goes to school and a teacher is
like in
we won't even go to those people. Black people, like in the Black community, the African American community, in America will not go to those people. They will literally be whooping a child.
Is she black?
He won't sit still. They will be whooping a child.
Wait, is she black or biracial? Because we didn't have this conversation.
See, I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. I don't know. But you see,
is Chillmonger biracial? Is that why he talking about? Oh, okay.
No, he's actually not. No. But here's the thing, and here's what I'm saying. Like, because I know they bring up, the children with ADHD and all this drama. If you don't know, like, a lot of kids are misdiagnosed with that stuff just so that they can put drugs on them, you know what I mean, and put them in the system. A lot of those types, like ADHD wasn't a thing when we were growing up. And I'm not saying it wasn't a thing.
It is a thing. It is a thing.
Absolutely, 100%.
And it gets worse the older you get if you don't get treated when you're younger. Right. And I'm not talking about with medication. I'm talking about there's therapies that you can go to help manage it. And there's also just having a diagnosis helps you in school. But if you want to know something that I know about schools, they get paid for the more tips. They get more money. They get more money from the state. The more at-risk children that they serve, and that could mean children with IEPs and all of that. So if your school district is sanctioned right, then you will be getting the optimal thing. Like the schools like the school system my children are in, they get what they need, and it's not they're trying to push diagnosis to get money. But there are some schools that will push diagnosis to get money.
Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying, right? So yes, it was a thing, but there were times where a kid was just being a kid. You know what I mean? Like not
and
interested
you gotta be
in
able to tell the difference between that.
Exactly, 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can't just think that every kid needs to have, drugs or be in with a psychiatrist and all kinds of stuff like that. It's like we said, not all kids need to be beaten, and not all kids need to be put on drugs and all kinds of stuff like that. Go ahead, Roberto.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
CBT is the main therapy. I was diagnosed as an adult, and I really wish I had meds in school. It would have helped a lot. And therapy. Yeah, hey, 100%. And we're not saying that there aren't kids out there that need the help. 100% they are. But I just think sometimes they overdiagnose, like Nadia said, sometimes just to get that bag. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Let's go.
He doesn't talk. He keep on whining. They don't even look to the evaluations. They don't even look to the help until their child goes to school and the teacher is like, hey, I think they need to be evaluated. They'll even argue with the teacher. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He just don't listen. So like,
which could be true too. Yep. There are some ignorant parents out there that would do that. We don't deny that. We never did.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But let me try and get to another point because they just go on and hold on.
If you chose to have a baby, you chose.
This is her talking about me.
Yeah.
And you took out your anger on a child.
I think with children and being around children, you learn pretty quickly who needs to be spanked and who does not. Yes. And the ones that need to be, and it's like you give them so many chances because to me, that's never the first thing I ever want to do is put my hands on my kids. Never.
Yes.
Like I never wanted to do it ever. Like I never, but bruh.
I can't tell.
Like
you telling MFs and everything else. Boy, you sound pretty aggressive.
She said exactly what I was thinking.
But that's what you mean. That's what I think in my head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to. My kids are the only people on this earth I'll go eat jail food for. Other than that, because I'm not eating it for that shit. I'm not eating jail food for myself.
Facts. Facts.
But I eat jail food for my kids.
You mean your young kids, not your old kids.
But I'm
self-control to
let's get to her point.
I got nieces and nephews. You can react to that bit. I just want to say that if Nzo was my kid, I'd definitely spank him for being an MCU fan.
Oh, you.
Listen. Hold on. Listen. If Nerdman was my father, I would have unallied myself a long time ago.
No.
I would not want to be embarrassed by walking down the street with Nerd Man. It's not happening.
Y'all in matching outfits like father, like son.
Yeah. Go.
No,
you're telling me
definitely
because
not.
you decided to lay down and now you have to wake up in the middle of the night, that justifies not having patience, emotional regulation,
what I said.
self-control to not hit a kid. There's no reason.
I was gonna say that.
Like, oh, because you're tired, you're hitting kid. This is
That
the
is-
point.
is that what I
people say,
said?
oh, you only do it when they do really bad.
So explain to them what you were trying to say so that we can put it
I
in
explained
English.
it earlier. I explained it earlier. I was just venting first off, and I was saying that children push you to a point where it's like, let me think, let me stop, let me think, let me get myself together, and let me figure out what needs to be done. Ain't nobody waking their children up and beating them. Ain't nobody saying that a child deserves to be hit because they're doing child things. They are humans and they need to be regulated, not controlled. And that's another thing that it seemed like they won't like. I don't know why people think that you can control your kids, especially just by speaking to them.
Facts. Facts.
My daughter
Facts.
literally looked at me and laughed when I told her to do something one time. I was like, hold on, who she thinks she's talking to?
100%.
Baby. And then I can make a serious situation seem funny because, like I said, I play too much. I do. But at the same time, they know when I'm being serious and they know what time it is. They know what time it is. And
they need
like
to know what time it is. That's the whole point, Nadia. They need to know what time it is. I will
ask them, do you want to spank it? Do you want to be spanked? Because I mean, we can go there. That's an option that we can get to. And I guess they don't like that as an option. Like I said, I give them a choice because look, we can go there or we can take this somewhere. So what we need to be doing, what do we need to be doing? What should we be doing? And I know people like you shouldn't even threaten your kid with a spanking. They should feel safe with you. My children do feel safe with me. When something's wrong, who do they run to? They can't stop touching me. They won't leave me alone ever. Like I don't know. I felt like my mothering skills was attacked because I came in hot and was venting, but they took it the wrong way. And like I said, because didn't you hear me say children don't deserve that just because they're children? And here I am repeating it again because they chose to overlook all that and then to come in and talk to me like I can't parent. Like I'm a bad parent. That's what I felt like. And y'all took it the way y'all took it, and I took y'all response the way I took it. So, like I said, they could have said something to me because I was in the comment section at this point in time. I was responding. You will see the shit pop up, but they said nothing directly to me, just made all these assumptions based off me coming in venting about how children and what it's like to have children. Because, bruh, one weekend I had to wake up late, like early in the morning, and clean up throw up. Did you think I screamed? Do you think I got mad? Do you think I whooped their ass because they threw up in the bed and didn't make it to the toilet? No, I cleaned the throw up, got them cleaned up, put them in the bed, and went the fuck back to bed. That's shit you gotta do as a parent. Yes, it's frustrating.
If I came in limits that were monsters, Nadia, we will look like monsters.
That's what it sounds like because that's what they're trying to make it sound like.
Because
and I'm like,
it will hold no substance if they don't. Like they make it sound like, my newborn child was crying and I woke up and beat the shit out of her.
Exactly. She go and start talking about how she's a breastfeeding mama. I breastfed both of my kids too. I pumped and I breastfed them. I had to wake up every 2 to 3 hours because if I went longer than 2 to 3 hours without pumping or feeding, my it would be swollen and hurt. Like, I mean, I know y'all ain't trying to understand. I'm just saying. But yes, I had a miserable newborn season. I had postpartum depression and didn't even fucking know that shit. Did I hurt my kids? No. Did I yell at them? No. I was just crying all the damn time and didn't fucking know why.
And did
anybody help me? Fuck no.
My beef is, are we telling people who don't believe in beating their kids to beat their kids? Are we judging them or passing judgment on them that they're idiots, they're fools, they're pussies? Do we put any labels on them? No. We just mind our business. But yet these same people want to put labels on us and make us look like monsters and tell us that we are bad parents. Get a fucking life.
I don't think you guys.
That's what I'm going to say. Get a fucking life. Because there is no book out there on the perfect parent. So I don't know how you feel you are and feel we're not. If your kids live longer than you, you are a perfect parent.
And like you said, Roberto, there's no rule book.
There's none.
Your kid, right? It's a lot of trial and error, especially with the first one. A lot of trial and error. You're going to make mistakes, and there are times you're not going to make mistakes, right? But you can't go to somebody and tell them you're wrong for raising your kid that way. Okay, how about you sit there and raise this kid for about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? You come at me with the same thing you just said before.
Hey, JJ, I was worried I couldn't afford diapers. I was worried I wouldn't be able to afford milk. I was worried about all those things, man, thinking of all these numbers. Oh, fuck, how am I going to do it? When you have that kid, you make it happen.
Facts. I remember going to daughter get her first shots, man. When she was crying and screaming, I started crying, like, oh, my baby, right? That's the feeling of a parent. That's the feeling of a parent. They bring the emotions out of you, good and bad, right?
100%.
You wouldn't know that until you've dealt with it.
One time I was on the metro, man, and I noticed older couple, and they were looking at my son, and like, oh, he's so cute and this and that. And then the woman went to touch him. I was like, don't touch my son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't, no.
Bruh, why do people do that? You know how many people touch my children, and I be like I literally have to be like that, because I'll be like, why? Why do you feel like you're so entitled to touch my children? Especially because my children got locked, so they be wanting to touch their hair. Like, oh, get your hands out of my kids' hair. Who are you?
Yeah.
Do you wash your hands after you wipe?
Exactly.
When somebody
you know what I mean?
Pick them up without asking you first. Even
weirdos. And I'm hella protective over my kids.
Me too. I was too. 100%. I didn't say you're idiots, fools, or anything like that. Didn't label anyone. I'm trying to have an adult discussion. I think as a kid who was beaten, I have right to enter this discussion. So here's the thing.
You were beating, not spanked. It's a difference, and we know the difference.
Yeah. Because I heard what you were saying, and I'm like, that's abuse, bro. That's not just spanking. Like, you talking about like him throwing stuff at your head and stuff like that. Like, nah, that's not normal behavior. And then to be honest with you, you also said it was your stepfather too, right? Now I know
which is crazy to me.
Right, I know a stepfather can be a father, like that. But exactly, and that's why I say, like, for me, like, no stepfather, no stepmother. You're not coming in here and touching my kid. You're not doing it. You may get mad, but you come talk to me, and I will discipline my child. You will not. Paul said, facts. My dad literally apologized for being too hard on me over my little sister. Parents that can admit their errors are to be respected.
And that's another thing.
I did apologize to my daughter one time.
And that's one thing that I don't think that they were saying that they think we do. They think we just hitting them and tell them to go to their room but stop crying before we make them cry harder. No, the thing is, because I even said that. I was like, I apologize to my children frequently. I do that because they're humans, not because because and I let my children call me out. I let my daughter talk back to me respectfully. But I let her call me out on shit that she doesn't like or she doesn't feel comfortable with. Okay, but let me get myself together because I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, yes, because she's a human and she deserves to be treated like a human. Just because she's smaller than me and she's doesn't mean that she doesn't have the capacity or the intelligence. I treat my children like they're very intelligent. I don't treat them like they stupid little kids and tell them to go play on their tablets. I do tell them to go play on their tablets because, you know, I got other shit to do, but like, I don't think they stupid. I don't know. Like I said, misinterpreting me coming in hot and ranting. Did y'all feel that way? Did y'all feel like I came in like a angry black mama that just had kids and didn't know what to do with them and frustrated? No. Yeah, I came off frustrated, but like, is that
that's our show? That is our show.
You came off like a parent.
And that's what I was about to say.
You're
Yeah,
like
you
a
came
parent.
off like a parent. Like I was gonna say this because I have these old women, these old ladies at work, right? And the one that sits beside me, and she tells me every day she loves her daughter, but she can't stand her. She's like, I hate my daughter's personality. I love her and whatever, but I don't like her, right? And that is a possibility to where a parent may not like their child and a child may not like their parents, because what happens, kids get older, they grow their own personalities, and sometimes your personality may clash with their parents' personality, right? It's not all fun and games where it's just like, oh yeah, okay, this is my child and our personalities are always going to match. They don't. Sometimes there are parents that literally don't like their kids. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that has nothing to do with being a bad parent or anything like that. It's just kids, like Danny said, are humans, right? Kids ain't human until they get a job and move out. Well, they're always human, Danny. But that's all I'm saying is, though, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, um, there are people out there that, oh shit, oh my bad. People out there that feel like,
okay, so people can get their eyesight back.
All right, let's continue.
Stuff. But then when you ask them this stuff, they go, yeah, because I was just so tired. I just worked all day, and then
We never said that.
Nope.
You took out your anger on a child. You took out your frustration on a child. You didn't discipline them. You used them as a stress ball. What do you mean until you wake up? And I wake up, sometimes I don't even go to sleep. And I have never hit any of my children. Like, what does sleepiness have to do with anything? You knew what you was signing up for. Kids, when you're pregnant, people always say the same thing to you. Just wait till the baby get here. You ain't gonna get no sleep. Just wait till the baby get here. You ain't gonna never have time to yourself. Just wait till the baby get here. You won't be able to shower. So, I mean, you knew what you was signing up for. And then you have multiple children. So after the first one, you shouldn't have kept going if you was gonna be tired or etc. Like,
Why the fuck was
y'all
I
starting to
getting
are
irritate me
lectured?
signing
right
Why
up
now.
the
for
fuck
this.
was I
Children
getting
don't act.
lectured?
She's starting to irritate me right now.
well, here's the thing. No, I know, Dan. I know you're joking. But here's the thing, though, right? You're gonna get tired. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to get tired. You got to go to work in the morning and you got to wake up and feed the baby or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Or even a like 3-year-old, like you said, throwing up in the bed. Some things are going to happen, right? You're going to have these having a child, but those are not the things that we are saying that deserve beatings. We've never said that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Those things don't deserve beatings at all. Like, it's a life, and I think we all knew
And I
what we were
specifically
getting.
said that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all knew what we were getting into when we decided to have a child. We all knew it. Like Roberto said, once that child came, you had to make sure that the child had diapers, make sure the milk is there. You know what I mean? That the child is well taken care of. So now you got to go out and make sure. And I think that's what happened to me. Like, I realized, like, I can't be lollygagging with some of the
Yep.
things that I'm doing anymore. I got to get out there and make sure that this child has everything. Because I can't lie, I was kind of vain too. My child had Jordans, the baby Jordans, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because I always said, if I'm gonna wear them, my child is not gonna wear cheap ass stuff. Like when they're
Fact.
going out to play, absolutely, 100%. But when we going out, that child is going to have just as good gear that I have, and I had to go
Facts.
out and work for that. When
My
you
daughter
have to
had
do
Jordans before me, man.
facts,
She
you know what
had
I
baby
mean?
Jordans that tied on my fucking rearview mirror. I didn't
Facts.
get Jordans till I was in my 50s. Fuck.
There you go. And we got to go out and do that work, and of course we are going to be tired because we are trying to make sure that the child we have has everything that we didn't have growing up. That's what I did,
Man,
you
my
know.
thing is, I'm like, why am I being lectured? And
You're the only woman, India.
yeah, and like they said, they brought a sassy woman to come deal with this sassy woman, I guess. But why are we pitting women against each other? And I'm just like,
Well, we didn't
I
bring you
planned.
knowing that
My
there would be
my
one coming
children.
after you.
Yeah, my
and
children
and
were planned. I very much planned out my children. I've only been pregnant by my husband. Like I ain't trying to say this shit to like brag. I'm just saying. Cause like,
And
damn,
It's
she
what
act
it
like
is.
I got 2 baby daddies and like I don't like none of my
Waiting for that
kids
check
and they
every
just
month.
yeah. That's what it would sound. That's why I asked, is she black? Because
Is
like
she?
it sound. I don't know. I didn't see her face. She didn't show her face the whole time.
True.
No, she didn't. So I don't know what she looks like too. But that's what I was gonna say. It's like he was like, oh,
Because
they
there was a
brought
lot
out.
of
They
racial
have.
shit that kept popping up, and I'm just like, why is this even coming up?
He said the sassy. Yeah, but here's the thing, though,
Okay.
Nerdman. Right? You were like, oh, they had a sassy girl, but she's been on for months. It's not like we brought her on to discuss this topic. That's what you guys did. You understand? We had the topic and she was here. She's been here constantly. We didn't go out and, hey, Nadia, we're doing this topic. Why don't you come and discuss it with us? No, she's been here. Right? So I'm just saying. And yes, she is sassy and we love her for it.
Hey,
I'm
could I ask
just
something?
saying. Yeah,
Did
go
they say
ahead.
anything about me and JG, or it's just you and Nadia?
I don't think so, to be honest with you. I
They
don't
don't
think so.
want this smoke,
I
man.
think
I'm telling you.
I think there may
Are you?
be
I'm offended, JG, because I don't
no.
walk in someone's house and just say hi to the person I know. I say hi to everybody.
No, I think you might have made a comment somewhere where they did mention you. We'll
This is
try and
something
get to that because we'll skip this part and go to a
And this
next
is almost
point.
the whole show.
A number of
Yeah, I
different
know.
hurdles that you have to get through, suffering, taxes, heartbreak,
Hey,
and
I
then
love Nern,
eventually
man, but he's
illness and death.
long-winded for real.
I was
Man.
gonna
That's
say,
what
does
you
K-Dot
can
say
go into.
anything?
That's basically,
does.
and there's a lot of
Yep, there you go, right there.
enjoyment in between. I get
He
it,
tried.
but
He said something in the beginning of the show, and I
we're
don't
not
recall him
immortals.
talking
We're not,
again.
money isn't
He
growing off
tried.
trees and whatever. We have to work and do all of these things to get the stuff that we enjoy in our lives.
And
So in that sense,
before you play it, didn't in the beginning of this he said that they only started playing his clip from a certain point and they didn't really get everything that he was saying?
Well, then y'all only listen to a few.
yeah, I
Anybody know
know.
what happened?
Opinion of the few things you heard.
We
I mean, I
were
don't know, you guys.
listening
This is
from it
my
the whole
first time
time.
No,
seeing.
I'm talking about the Nerd Man. When we first started the stream, the Nerd Man said, when you started playing the video, he said, wow, they didn't even get what I was really like. They didn't really get when I was trying to get my point across. They only got a certain.
So the reason why that happened is because you see that little red little person with the avatar holding the belt? It's because I was on the stream. So I didn't need to play everything they said because I was there and I remembered a lot of the stuff that we talked about. Now, could I have gotten to Nerdman's points already? But once we got to that point, we just took off and started going in our own route, right? We weren't really addressing everything that they talked about. We were just addressing, the situation about Spanky.
The show started off about them, and then we veered off on our own thoughts.
Exactly. 100%.
So wasn't we came to attack them? That wasn't the nature of the show, because I didn't even know what the hell was said until you sent me the link.
I know, right? And then Roberto watching was like, oh no. So yeah, but that's the thing. So
definitely this week we are coming back.
There you go. It was his idea, and I said, let's do it. So
clip, and now they're reacting based off of that. So I think them coming and saying that we only reacted to certain parts is crazy, because he said they didn't even get all his points either.
Because that's
I know. There's no way we're not going to sit here and just watch their whole stream, just like they're not going to sit there and watch our whole stream.
Exactly.
I mean, we might. Who knows? I don't know.
But I'll say this. What I want to. Go on. And then let me finish what I was saying about Nadia's point.
Let me just reply to Dave's comment quick. The day I do like this comment here. I think there's some parents that have this idea that their kids should automatically give them respect, because I think it's a two-way thing. Both sides need to earn respect in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. 100%, which is what we said.
To a degree.
Yeah, to a degree.
I am the parent. You are the child. Different standards. Like, we want to start from 3 years old, going out, get a job, pay your room and board, get your own washing machine, do your own laundry and stuff. I will give you that same respect. But you're my child, and if you need to watch Animal Kingdom to know how it works, they don't even talk to each other. The kid just follows the older one to live to be as old as the older one. And that's bang on facts.
Mm-hmm. But that's what we're saying. We're Nerdman. Children don't owe us anything. We've said that. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of brushed over.
I said it in the comment section.
Right. Yes.
I was there the whole stream. I said everything that they just said over here. I said that in the comment section. I said we started having our own conversation after this topic was brought up, and then I also said that children don't deserve. Our children don't owe us nothing, and something about parents don't. Children deserve parents, but parents don't deserve. But every parent doesn't deserve a child. Every adult don't deserve to be a parent.
Facts, 100%.
Pretty evident. There's some people out there.
But every child deserves a good parent, 100%.
Yes.
Right. I don't think it's automatic, and I'm not saying that they're saying that, but from what I took away from what she said, I think she is one of the parents that obviously, is trying to get respect from her kids, and she would also hope that her kids also give it back. Right. So.
Right. Absolutely.
I just want to make that clear.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I've seen Nadia a lot of times on the videos, and I think she's
Nadia.
That's what I said. I had to say it I put it in the chat. I said Nadia.
K-Dot correct.
He tried so many times, and I'm like, nah. I put NA-D. Like, come on, guys. Like,
man, ever since
right?
Exactly. Ever since I became an adult, I refuse to let people say my name wrong. And people be getting mad. I'm like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I think Brits butcher everybody's name.
Facts. Facts. Especially Nerdman.
What's his real name? What's Nerdman's real name? Is it Wentworth?
It's Clarence. Clarence had really good parents. His parents had really good.
I've always liked Nerdman, and I even had a soft heart for him because, again, I couldn't understand why Nzo would always butcher you like Jason. But now, man, I'm really starting to see, man. You should be more like Freddy instead of Jason, and come and hunt you in your ass in the dreams.
Facts.
Oh, Nadea, sorry, but like
Nadea still said it wrong.
Nadea. Welcome to Africa, Nadea.
Being that the classy kind of lady she is. But anyway, so going back to
now we're trying to do that Brit buttering up the classy woman that she is there. Eh? Like, you're trying to be smooth, Nerdman, but it doesn't come off smooth with you. It's kind of creepy, to be honest with you.
We're gonna get Nadea out of Anzo's little
Nadea. You said it right there.
That's why I was like, no, you're not, because you can't even get her name right. You want to get her away from us, and you can't get her name right? Not happening, sir. That is not happening.
JG Wentworth.
Don't worry, Nadea. We're gonna get you.
It's on the basis that, like, you really, they really don't owe you anything, and you've decided it's your responsibility to bring them into the world. That even if your philosophy is spanking, I don't think it's relevant to mention that, you wouldn't know, like, until you've experienced the stresses of, a baby waking you up and all of that kind of stuff. Why is that relevant to a conversation about spanking, given that's a decision that was made, right? That was a decision that was made, and you wanted to do that. They didn't want to do that. They didn't choose.
Pause that 1 minute, Nzo.
It wasn't irrelevant. I was just ranting.
I want to tell something, Nerdman. Okay, I'm gonna put a bucket of ice water in front of you. You're gonna jump into this bucket of ice water. You know you're gonna jump in, right? You think you're gonna be able to take it, but when you jump in that water and your body reacts like
facts,
you can't control that, brother. And that's what your kids do to you. They get you to Okay?
Facts.
That's what happened to me the time I apologized to my daughter. Okay? She brought me there because she did something I did not expect her to do to her mother. And that's where reality comes in fucking check.
Yes,
if
me
you
too.
want to have a discussion with your daughter, I wish you all the luck. But stay the F out of my business, how I conduct my shit. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. Because for me, it wasn't until he disrespects his mom like that, and I was like, okay, no, we can't have that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
train stops there, bruh.
yes, I used to let it. Yo, I can handle it. You want to be rude to me, whatever. We go back and forth. I'll do that. But you don't ever disrespect your mother. That woman carried you for 9 damn months, and the stuff that she had to go through to carry your ass, you have no right to talk to that woman that way. None whatsoever. I watched my son's mom, right? Because you get the nutrition. Things she wouldn't eat, she ate. Eggs, like she wasn't a big egg person. She ate eggs, liver, all the stuff that they used to tell her to eat for nutritious for the baby, she did. I watched all of that. All the times, couldn't walk because she's tired, big, all of it. All of it. Don't disrespect your mom. Just don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't respect that. And I'm going to break that out of you if you try it. I really am. Oh, I'm gonna freak out when I have a kid. Trust me, Roberto. I have all the respect for you guys as parents. Yeah, we know. But again, this is something that we have differences on. That is fine. We are just saying at the end of the day, we've all been saying the same things over and over again. Like if you watch the stream, we say the exact same things that you guys are saying. We just don't take spanking off the table. That is all. That's the only thing that's different. But what it happens is you get a lot of this, well, psychologically and this and that and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And this is what traumatizing to the kids and all of that. And sometimes, yes, it may be. But again, you have to know your child, right? And that's what we expressed. And I've expressed that. We all have many times is you have to know your child. You can spank some kids and it won't really traumatize them. And there's some where you can't.
The ones I worry about are
methods.
the ones that do it in public. Because I can tell you this, all the times I fucked up in public, I got that whisper in my ear. Wait till you
get home.
Yes. That's the whole ride home. That's PTSD right there.
Yes.
But for me to get licks in public, that's humiliation. Because other people are witnessing you get this beating and no one's doing nothing to save you. So I disagree with public beatings. But when you're asked,
don't post that shit online. Discipline online. That shit is stupid.
Of course, Nadia. That makes no fucking sense. You're actually being arrested for that. For being fucking stupid. You're gloating, you're beating your kid. Like I seen some shit. I don't know if it was on our show, but I couldn't really watch it. I can't watch it.
Like I said, there's creative methods, but like don't humiliate your kid online because what you post online, that's gonna follow them forever.
Yes.
Don't do it.
100%. And a lot of them do it for clout. You know what I mean? For views or whatever.
You want to talk about psychologically fucking up your child?
Yes.
Yeah, like that woman that cut her daughter
hair off. Yes.
Online, like why did you do that online?
That's
or cutting your kids' hair off and posting it. Don't post the shit. We don't give a damn about you cutting your kids' hair. It's don't post the shit to embarrass them. That's you psychological. Now that they go, oh, we saw your mama cut your hair online. Stop. Don't do that. That shit lives forever.
And that's what we said earlier, Paul. That sometimes the words hurt worse than the belt does. You know what I mean? Sometimes those words hurt a lot worse than the belt does. Trust me, man. The parents say the right thing at the right time, and that could literally mess you up. Yeah, of course you're going to remember that 20 years later, 100%. I've had long-term depression from beating I received, still dealing with to this day. I can't trust people I'm in relations with. I also behave worse in school after beatings.
I feel for you. I feel for you, nerd man. It's nothing we wish on anybody. But do you remember, Nzo, that show we did with that guy from Australia? when we were doing that show about the teacher who hit on the young student, and we said, "Man, that lucky bastard."
Yeah.
And then he went off. Oh, it happened to me when I was young, and I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't want it. Well, I feel for you, but I ain't you, son. It doesn't mean we're all gonna cry like you. Some of us want that shit to happen, and it didn't. So we're just saying, man, imagine us. Like, there's two sides to every fucking tracks, man. It's not all one way.
Hey, man. One time I had this teacher. She was one of them student teachers that came in. Oh yeah. Oh my lord. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was her class. All the dudes were in there, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because
she had perfect attendance
every day.
I had a student teacher try to holler at me. Like, I was the teacher and he was the student teacher, and he was trying.
That's right.
I was like, let me get this straight. He was of age. But I was like, bro, no. Like, go away.
But you see the point I made, Nzo? We're not hating on Nerd Man. You're allowed to have different opinions. But,
100%.
When you're getting hands-on opinion and you're getting a perspective, it's two different things. My experience might not be like yours, but who are you to judge mine?
Absolutely. And we don't judge yours, you know what I mean? Like you said, man, it's messed up. And I said that too earlier. Like, I felt like, what you talking about, what happened to you is totally different than what we are speaking about. You know what I mean? Like we're just talking about spankings when a child does something bad or something like that, not actually like throwing things and trying to bust open their head and stuff like that. So that's not the stuff we're talking about, man. We're not doing that.
And we're not saying to legalize it, but at the same time, don't ban it, because there's some people who need this avenue and can't have it, and their lives are ruined. Like my good friend, him and his wife are divorced. His kid doesn't live with them. The system got involved, and it was such a fucking mess. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And they tried everything. Everything. If only he was allowed to drop beatings on his son because he saw his son was an apple that fell from his tree, and he got beatings when he was young. He was exactly the same way. But his wife was like this woman who's on their show, and she said, "Oh, no." And when he was spitting in her face and telling her, "Fuck you, bitch," and yeah, Nadia, yeah. I'm not going to mention no name. I know they're not going to watch the show, and I won't say their names, but this is facts. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
facts.
I believe it. 100%. Yeah, I believe it. 100%.
And I said, that was my son. If I could talk in Spanish right now.
Children are children. Children are.
Let's see if we can get to something else real quick.
Or the other parent doing it with play a little bit more.
Yeah.
Finally.
I know right now, what hurt my oldest grandson, if we take away that Xbox, he's dead. I'm like, okay, you can have the Xbox, but guess what? I'm taking away the controllers.
They do say we do have some creative methods of stuff, of coming up with punishments and stuff. And we like, do that, because we not
absolutely. But now some kids will be like, okay, take it away. You know what I mean? Like,
what if your kid doesn't have an Xbox?
No, I know that's your grandson, but I'm saying some kids will like don't care. Like,
you gotta find out.
Then buy them a game when they come home, they can't play with it.
Well, it is just a bed with nice covers and stuff. I mean, but you ain't got all your blankets. I done took everything out your room. Then I'm depriving you of basic human needs. No, as long as you still get your meals and you have a roof and Wi-Fi and you might not even have Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
What, like, you get what I'm saying?
There you go.
Everything they're gonna say because I thought that way before I had kids.
So,
I thought that way because
Again, I want to get into more of the crux of like the arguments, but like again, you've just come up with a bunch of very creative ways that you can deal with that situation. Plus, let's not forget about reward as well. I'm not saying you should reward necessarily your kid for cleaning their room, but like, you did a good job. Like, oh, thanks for cleaning. That's great. It's like a help and blah blah blah.
So we get to point because I think there's a lot of the repeating and stuff like that. Plus, we've seen it already, so we know where he's going with this. But yes, that's the point we've been making all the time. Is we've exhausted all of these options, taking their stuff away, leaving them with nothing. You know what I mean? We've exhausted all of these options. Are these options or something that we are going to try first? 100%. But at the end of the day, we're not just going to give up after we exhausted those options and just say, oh, well, I'm going to leave you to your devices. No, you're going to get a spanking. Then if that don't work, then you are on your own, right? But I'm going to keep that as an option. Like the spanking part, I am going to keep as an option, 100%. So we've tried all of that. Like, nothing.
I'm just upset because, we're going to have to do that biracial black thing next week because
yes, we will.
I thought that was very interesting.
It is, and it's going to be an interesting one as well.
Nerd Man did it.
It's hard. It's hard to, because even when they were doing the stream, I was like, okay, guys, can you get to like our points and then because they talk for like 20 minutes on one little spot that we say, and it's like you're just repeating the same things over and over again that we have discussed and all
That's
of
the way
that
it works
stuff.
now. So it's like CNN.
You know what I mean? Trust me. Oh my God. Let me see if we get a little bit more on
Just
that.
little nice things to kind of positive.
We get that part
along the way because I was really begging.
I can see Medea teaching.
You know what? I'm gonna get to the
can't read now. Shut up. Sit down.
part where they talk about this stuff.
That's why you say around your kids. Kids mirror what
where I could reason with him better, but
so
psychological troubles they can have, which is why I always say the best way, like to be a teacher, to be anything to do with a child. If you have any responsibility with a child, is actually go and read up about early childhood development. I think it's really, really important, like to, even if you have a cursory understanding of it, I think it will help you or benefit a lot in how you think about like
a lot of people are in survival mode and still trying to take care of kids. So
and
it's a lot of hurt adults.
And it's getting harder, right? With all the things that are going on in life, with food being so expensive and rent, it's getting harder, right?
Let's move forward to video.
Stuff like that, and I agree. But when I found this video, I was like, you know what? This video is an ass whooping right away. I don't know if any of you ever seen this.
Sit down.
What, the grandmama or something, ain't it?
Yes.
Oh, that's me as a kid. Don't take me to no MCU shit movie, bitch.
When it comes to that throat punch.
Don't take me to some Iron Man shit, bitch.
Kid. That kid been watching them trash Marvel movies. That's why he's like that. He's seen so much garbage. He's just spewing out garbage. It's the problem with these Marvel movies. Kids be watching
the MCU. We haven't talked about Kevin Feige's responsibility over like these bad seeds.
Yeah, they go under it all. Blah blah blah.
We have to factor that in too. But let me continue the video.
From day one, K-Dots with this MCU,
that's like
whatever thing,
man. I know.
What you read is right there. That right there is to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
spray some water on his butt. And get the belt.
So look, I'll say this about this video, right? About this here, why the kids acting like that. I guarantee you that grandma, and they probably be spoiling that kid. They probably spoiled that kid so much.
We haven't talked about that. That's a very good point.
They probably spoiled that kid so much that they just feel like they can get away with it, and they're pampered. That's what I'm saying. You need to balance shit out. You can't give your kid too much, and you can't take away too
quick it is.
I guarantee that kid is a spoiled little brat that they just been they'll let
just can't be an evil kid, right?
Right. And here's the thing, Paul said, question: where do you learn the language for kids learn
in school?
Others, especially, it could be in school. Absolutely, it could be on the internet.
Music they listen to, it's everywhere. These kids have access to everything now.
Yes. That's why if you're a good parent, you monitor what your kids are listening to, what they're watching and stuff like that, right? You don't just let them watch everything nilly and dilly. Maybe the kid was spoiled. We said that. Maybe it is. Maybe whatever you want to say. He's being abused or whatever. What's that?
Did you block your kid's shit?
What do you mean block it?
You know, you could put that they can't go to
child block.
sites, the child block, you know? I didn't.
No, I didn't.
So when our kids are at school, we don't know what they're doing on their lunch, their break, on the bus ride home.
Yeah.
You know, they can be doing whatever the fuck they want.
And I don't know if you remember, but there was a time, and I think they still do it. They were allowing the kids to have their cell phones in class.
In school, yes.
And I'm like, wait a minute, nah, that ain't right. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that. But yeah, we're listening.
I wouldn't be shocked because I know kids like
no kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, don't worry, man. We're gonna get to your points, and we're gonna close it up.
Yeah, I know a kid. There's a kid called Franda in my class. Talks to his mom like I couldn't believe it, and he's the worst kid in the class, right? He's by far the worst, like behaved kid in the class. That I've tried so many methods of controlling this kid, and the only thing that I found, and I finally found something that worked, is he likes working on projects. That's what he likes doing. He doesn't like, like me standing in front of the class teaching and da da da. He likes to be hands-on and do a project with me. So that's what I've worked on with him recently. And there you can talk to him and and kind of discuss like, oh, you're not going to advance like all your friends. You're the most popular guy amongst your friends now, but like they're going to get to the next level. You're not going to get to the next level with them. You're going to be sticking here. So there's that kind of thing. And I found a place, an environment where I could reason with him better. But anyway, the point of you were making about the spoiled kid, right? Like, and a kid that clearly has been mouthing off to their parents and just been allowed to. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know if you're right about that. That's an assumption. The kid could also have a conduct disorder. There could be many other factors.
Right, could be other factors too. And I'm not dismissing those factors. That's he could possibly be a spoiled kid, and the kid might actually have,
he might maybe outside of this they actually do abuse him. Like maybe they.
And that is something that we said was absolutely a possibility, 100%. But we also don't not deny the possibility that he could just be a bad kid, right? Mm-hmm. Roberto?
Oh shit, sorry, I was over that.
It's all right.
What, you want to make reference to what they said about this kid?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I didn't like what K-Dot said to begin with. And I think, parents get a bad rap all the time. It's so easy to blame the parents when a kid is bad, but that doesn't solve the issue. That's giving the kid a way to get out of things. And is he ever we're just enabling him when you do that.
Absolutely.
It's only gonna get worse.
Absolutely.
Nobody did that shit when I was young.
Facts. We knew not to talk to our parents like that.
What? Are you kidding me? I couldn't even swear, let alone at them in general. I remember one time I was so mad, and I put on my Sony Walkman earphones, and I turned the music up loud so I couldn't hear them, and I started cursing out loud, not realizing that everybody could hear me. When I turned around, my door was open, and guess what he was standing there with?
JG?
Because I used every F word I could.
Facts.
I remember I was in college, right? There was this girl I was trying to talk to. She invited me over her house. Her mom was there. And she started cursing right in front of her. White girl, of course. So as soon as she started cursing, I looked up like, are you finna go whoop her ass? What you gonna do? Right? Because for me, I better not. I couldn't even mouth I could even utter the first syllables of a curse word. Right.
Facts.
Especially from my grandparents. Oh, if I ever disrespected my grandparents, that was almost like a death sentence.
Absolutely. 100%. Right? So
this kid right here, some kids, they're just fucking Damien.
Yeah.
Right? They're just fucking the Omen kid. This Chucky. This is fucking bad.
But didn't we pose that question? Is there rotten kids? Is
yeah, they didn't even get to that.
Kid?
They didn't even get to that.
Yeah. You know? We did well, they don't agree with it. I think they do get to that at one point, and where I say that there's just some bad seeds, and everyone's like, no, I don't disagree. I agree. I disagree. Nope. And I'm like,
I don't think they're bad kids. I think there's a mix of characteristics that need to be I don't want to say toned down. They just need to figure out the way that they mind works, and they could be a better person. But it's all about nurture. The way they're nurtured depends on whether or not they're gonna be. It's like dog breeds, for example. Not to say children are like dogs because they ain't.
They're not.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, like dog breeds. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, then some of them get rowdy and then. But nah, there are. I don't know, because dachshunds and chihuahuas, they just they are, but not all of them though. But see, I get what you're saying. I get what y'all saying. I don't agree because I don't think anybody's bad or good off bat. I just feel like it's the surroundings around them and what they're taking in and how they projecting it back out to the world. So you get what I'm saying?
So I can understand that, but sometimes I think that, you know, and the Jamaicans have a saying, you're a bad-minded person, right? You know, you're just a bad mind. And sometimes they're just bad-minded, right? It could be what they've watched on TV. Maybe it influences them to think a certain way or whatever, right? But at a certain point, if you don't break that out of them, you will never break that behavior out of them. You know what I mean? And they're always going to have that bad mind, right? And especially if they have no consequences to the actions that they do, right? They're just going to have, and that's why I think that sometimes there's, you know, that could be a possibility. 100%.
And think about this, like when we've all had newborns, right? How do they know what's good and bad? We tell them what's good and what's bad, right? If you're not told that, you run around doing whatever the hell you want to do. And a lot of these
100%.
parents, a lot of these kids do whatever they want to do till it's too late, and then they want to start implementing punishments. So like, my wife has a little cousin now who's always in a bad shit all the time, right? Spoiled up until he was a teenager. He's 18, 19 now. Been in jail a few times. I told my wife, hey, he's a lost soul. It's nothing. You just got to let life hit him. Whatever happens, happens. Hopefully it can turn around.
It's called conduct disorder. They aren't necessarily bad kids. It's a personality disorder, which means serious cognitive behavior intervention. You see, again,
that sounds like a medication term.
There could be, but you can't just say because every kid acts a certain way that they have some sort of cognitive disorder. It's not always that. You know,
it would need to be a test done. It would need to be tested. It would need to be tested. That's all I'm saying. You can advocate for that, but also what are you doing at home to so that it's not happening, or that what's the word I'm looking for? I am at a loss for words. I don't know, because when something was going on with my child and I know it wasn't the environment and it wasn't the way I was disciplining him, it was I just went and took them to the doctor and we talked about stuff. But I know what I know what Nerd Man is saying, because I know I've seen children with this disorder. I worked with lots of different types of children as far as on different types of spectrums or whatever. So I've seen a lot of shit. So I know what he's saying, and I get what y'all saying. It's like not every kid though. And yes, not every kid. That's why this shit needs to be tested. And parents need to be their child's advocate. And this is what I was talking about with what it's like to be a parent. You are making medical decisions that could affect this child's life for the rest of their life. And I'm not just talking about vaccinations. I'm talking about, are we putting them on medicine? Do you feel like this diagnosis fits them? Because Because a lot of the stuff, because like I don't know. After the stuff that I done been through, I just it's a lot. It's a
Mike
lot.
said,
You got to do a lot of reading for yourself, and you got to be able to trust your doctor. Because some people be like,
absolutely.
nah, doctors just want to diagnose.
Yeah.
Not the doctors that I go to. They don't just want to diagnose. They don't just throw that shit out there. You know what I mean?
Well, in all honesty, why do we think so many more kids today are going to see psychologists than before? I think is because parents can't whoop their ass. So they just pass the buck on a psychologist.
It's a different world. It's a different world. And a lot of the shit that happened to us, we should really go see psychiatrists, psychologists, or therapists, because like that 90s was fucking wild.
So Mike said they love throwing drugs at them instead of taking time to find out what the real reason for their behaviors. And that's one thing that we said earlier about
Not my doctors.
No, not yours, but there are some that do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then
Yeah.
you got to be careful who you listening to.
Yes,
and that's why you
yes.
got to do your research on your own, because that was the last thing I ever wanted to do was put my child on medicine. But like shit, him without it now, I'd be like, how the hell was I living? How was I living?
You don't want to do it too early, then you want to do it too late. Like in these say you have to you are the final, you have the final say when it's all said and done. And a lot of parents can't handle that. So whatever the teacher or somebody says, hey, your son doesn't know how to sit down and they might need to be ADHD, them drugs. No, he's fucking 8, 9 years old. How many you got? I know 30, 40-year-olds can't sit still. That don't mean they have ADHD, right?
They probably do.
Because
I'm telling you, ADHD gets worse when you get older. Because when you're younger, you have that set schedule of what you're supposed to do. When you're an adult, you're supposed to be able to regulate your own schedule. People with ADHD can't regulate their own schedule. That's why they late. And it's a whole bunch of, it's lots of different things depending on what type of ADHD that you have, depends on how you need to treat it. Because some people need medicine. Some people can just take some over-the-counter shit, like some supplements and shit, and be fine. Some people need that hardcore Adderall. Some people, some people do. I'm trying to tell you. Yes, some people do. CBD, THC, anything. It just depends on your type of ADHD. Yes. And that's why I mean, like some people, it's grown ass people walking around undiagnosed with ADHD, undiagnosed with bipolar disorder, and then they can't figure out why their family members don't like them and why they ain't got no friends.
and I'm always
I know people like that right
now. We all do.
I'm like, go get help, and you be trying to tell them go get help. And that's the shit that the people didn't catch when they was younger, because bipolar don't just show up as an adult. That shit shows up as a kid. That's why I'm saying you need to be your kid's advocate, but you also need to observe your own kid and look up shit for yourself. And a lot of parents aren't doing this, or they don't have the time because they in survival mode. But not every kid needs it. Yeah.
Exactly. Not every kid needs medication, and some kids need a beating.
Exactly.
Facts. 100%.
I remember when my daughter was 2, one of her teachers, whatever, tried to say she may need a medication, something like that. I'm like, why? She's always
2.
That's what I said. Sometimes they try to diagnose a kid too early.
That's way too damn early.
And I said, well, she don't do none of that shit at home. What's going on? Come to find out, they didn't tell me this. I found out about another parent. There's another badass kid in there that they were letting do everything, and the other kid was just following him.
Nah.
And you see, here's the thing.
Like you got to be the kid's advocate.
I would always try to find different methods before I go the drug route. So that's another thing too. I would try and find, and if I had no other choice than to put him on the drugs, then I would. But just like the spankings and beatings, I'm going to try other methods first before I do that last fucking drug thing. And I think a lot of the times what people do is the drug thing is first. Well, they have ADHD. Let's put them on this drugs. They'll be fine. You know what I mean? When maybe the kid just doesn't like the subject that they're doing or whatever, is not engaged and stuff like that. But stuff like that, they just want to put the drugs on them right away, real quick. And I'm like, no, we have to diagnose first, and then we can throw on some.
See, Nerdman makes a comment here. Well, Rogue said they love throwing drugs at him instead of taking the time to find out what the real reasons for the behavior is. And he says, no, that's serious cases like the one in the video. So basically he's saying they should give this kid drugs opposed to giving him a whoop ass. This kid needs a whoop ass. You carry him out like a fucking suitcase. You tell him while you're carrying him out. When you get home, kid, oh my God, you better hope your mom's there to stop me.
See, that's when you take them out like this, and you
that's what I'm saying, like a suitcase, like a suitcase.
When you get home.
And everybody
Don't fight.
in
Don't
that
fight.
restaurant is knowing the same thing as me. That kid's getting a beating when he gets home. I'm telling you right now. That's why you got to bring the 80s back, man. Bring the 80s back. And on that note, go ahead, Anza. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say another thing. But you see, we're old heads, so we don't know nothing. You know what I mean? Younger generation, we don't know nothing. We're the old heads.
We'll be gone, and you guys could run the world the way you want.
Facts.
We're okay with that. But while we're living, it ain't fucking happening.
Facts.
So, like Anzo says normally, we have reached that time, people. We apologize for going overboard, but again, this was the Nerd Man show. And you know how it go with the Nerd Man? It goes slow. That's the UK way coming from Canada. So let me close this out the way my partner always does. Nadia, tell the people where they can find you.
Before you do, Roberto, let me just say we had like 50 people watching.
What?
Thank you guys for popping in, man.
What? Looks like Mendez is on the left more often, boy.
Hey, if that's what works out, hands down, 100%.
Yo, this was a fun show. I have to admit, it was a very fun show. My only thing is I want JG to speak up more. I just don't want to see that purple dot there not moving. JG, you got to share the love, brother.
Hey, I try, man, but hey, you got this plethora of outstanding people on the panel. Got to get in where you can fit in, man.
I'm going to shut up more. I'm going to shut up more, y'all.
No, wait, hold on. I'm going to say this. Nadia, if there's any show where you had the stage, I would have given it to you here. You know why? Because I couldn't wait to say, Nadia, did you hear they called you a savage black woman? That would be the end. I would have pulled the cord. And that would have been it. Because I couldn't wait to see you today.
So, hold on.
No, they didn't. Oh, no, they didn't.
Mike, no, we weren't platforming him today, Mike. We were trashing him today. Like we should be doing on a regular basis, but we were trashing him. And they said, I'm tired of JG dominating. Yeah, I can't get a word in edgewise. I try to get JG involved. We try, you know what I mean? JG got to speak up more. I agree.
I try. I don't want to cut anybody off, so that's my problem.
That's the same thing I was doing. And I was just like, yo, you got to. I'm like, yo, but it's just not proper.
Ain't nobody's feelings hurt.
You know that
it's just me. Just jump in. You got it's like double dutch. You gotta jump in.
I learned from the best.
And I'll
Danny Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this too. When JG comes on camera, Roberto, we're gonna let him host the show as well.
Nice. Look at that, JG.
I think we can let JG host the show for sure.
That would be nice. See what kind of intro we get on that one.
JG, why you don't come on camera?
Look, I got haters in this business world, and they out the
last week, don't listen to JG. Last week, JG popped in the back room and had his camera on. I was like, "Oh, JG got your camera on." He was like, "Yeah, don't worry, it just popped on. I'm going to turn it off." I'm like, what are we talking about here? Oh, you turning it off. Take us
all
over,
good.
Bruno.
All good. So Nadia, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at the LOWKEY Cave tomorrow. We'll be doing Late Night with the Devil.
Well, you got.
I don't know if we're doing it. I don't know if we.
We're stinging you, Nerd Man. We're angry Canadians tonight.
I don't know if we're doing beats and mics. It just depends on if somebody respond to Kendrick or not. I mean, we already talked about Kendrick last night.
Go check them out.
Is that movie worth watching? I want to see it.
What, Late Night with the Devil? It's on
Yeah.
Shudder. Yes, but it's like predictable. Like you kind of just be like, okay, it's no more than what I thought it was. But like,
I
I
got
mean,
you.
it's entertaining and it does take you on a ride, but it's not scary. It's not. It's a twist on a possession movie. So
I got you.
I like that.
Watch them, guys. If you're not
I was
watching
just
them,
gonna say
go and watch them. Roberto asked me, and
before
I'm
I
like,
tell
Roberto watched
JG,
that.
before I tell
Go ahead.
JG to tell the people where they could find them, I was just gonna say, Nzo, I want to add them to that biracial comment topic. We're gonna talk about them because I had a problem with them.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I have a problem with movies that are so fucking racist. I have a very hard time watching it, and I can't understand why every time I gotta watch an interesting black movie, it has to involve racism. We experience racism every fucking day. You think I want to watch it in a movie?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but you got to look at what year that it was set in. Or
Did you watch them?
Are you talking about the first season or the second?
Yes,
season?
I started at the first season because I can't watch two without one. I watched
the first 5 minutes of one, and
yes, Nadia, that's me too. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time, but I need to see payback from them because that whole shit sitting in front of their house, that's some fucked up shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the first season. No. Yeah. The first season is racist as hell. 100%.
Yes, that's why I couldn't watch it. I was like, nah.
The first season. Yeah, the first season
is hard to watch.
Yeah, it's racist. It's really racist.
But because they made it 2, I have to know what 1 was like.
Yeah.
One had to be good enough to.
Have fun with that. I kind of want to watch it, but I was like, it's hard.
It's hard.
But season 2 is really good, though. Season 2 is really good, though. Yeah. So that's why you got to get to season 1.
I'm going to try. I'm trying slowly at lunch. I'm trying. Between watching K-Dot and Nerdman and them, lunch wasn't very good this week, man. JG, tell them where they can find you.
Yo, JG Shaolin, the final boss of the Shaolin Chambers. Waga! Catch me live on the O.O.C. Wednesday nights with Roberto, a.k.a. Mr. 100, a.k.a. No Trouble Tete, 18 Kwambi. No woman, no cry. Also, Nzo, a.k.a. the Abbot and the Osiris of the shit, the Spliff King and the Professor of Ganja, alongside one half of the low-key cave, the Dia Drake. She could be hot. Yeah, he gonna be hollering at you in a minute. The freestyle king spitting that fire and brimstone on all you suckers.
That's right. And Nzo, Mr. Entertainment, let them know where they can find you, sir.
I don't even have to tell them where to find me because they're here already. So
that's right.
I just want to say, great fucking job hosting today, Roberto.
Thank you, sir. I learned from the best. I've been a co-host beside. Nzo, you know it's fucking you. Stop your shit.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say Danny again. I've been beside this guy now for what, 2 years?
Almost 3, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I'm off. Maybe I need to smack that spliff again. But yeah,
I am.
Because of the fact that I've been sitting next to this man, learning what I'm learning. He taught me the 304, 340, whatever the fuck that shit is. I'm always learning, you know? And this is how, because if you look back to when I hosted other shows, I don't think I did it as good as I did it tonight. I was so entwined to reading all the comments because I wanted to do a better job than Nzo. Because sometimes I'll be like, Nzo, you sure you don't want me to read tonight? Because, man, that chronic got you fucked up. Oh, you illiterate motherfucker. But yeah.
So I will be looking for a new co-host. All right. If anybody wants to put in the application.
Yeah, look at that. Maybe I should have took the fucking control. We haven't posted somebody in a minute on here, man.
I know.
It's all good, son. It's all good. I overstepped my boundaries. Like I said,
Not at all,
I learned from the best. If it wasn't for Danny and Nzo. I would not be on this platform to meet these two wonderful people who join us every week. And all of you guys in the comments who are always here supporting us. Really appreciate it. Never thought it could happen, but every time I see it, it's what keeps me coming back.
Absolutely. So
I'm preaching, I'm preaching. You know you're good with me. You know you're good with me, nerd man. I ain't gonna judge you on a few Canadian bashes because some of us are asses up here. It just ain't me and Nzo. We keeps it real every Wednesday, just speaking off of our chests. And on that note, Nzo, what do you want to say?
We can't speak for the Americans on the panel, but we can speak for ourselves over here.
That's right. And we loves us some Americans.
I got that Southern hospitality, but
hold on. These Drake haters over here.
We still love them.
Doing with that,
Hold on, the East Coast ain't got no love for Kendrick? Because you got the East Coast rappers talking about that was whack. No,
I heard a lot of them.
Y'all just slow and don't feel like dissecting bars. Because if you dissect that shit is hella intelligent, and y'all mad because it's hella intelligent and he came hard and
you're not including me in that, Nadia, because I am not supporting Drake. I'm sorry. He did a fucking show that reminds me of the West Island, and I can't support that shit. Degrassi.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Did you hear Kendrick's? Did you hear Kendrick's diss, Roberto?
No.
Go listen to that. Go listen to that before you go to bed tonight. It's
called Drake messing with a real rapper, man.
He tried.
Yo, didn't T.I. go off on Drake too? I thought I heard something on the radio the other day. T.I. went off on Drake.
He probably did. I know Ross did. Went at him pretty hard too.
Not T.I. That's the one with all the kids, man.
Future?
No, the one who has all the kids and he hosts that fucking stupid show where they wear costumes.
Oh, Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon went off on Drake. And I'm telling you, it sounds nice.
Right.
It sounded nice. I'm not a fan of Nick Cannon, but that shit sounded nice.
No.
Nick got a couple of stuff that's actually pretty decent. I ain't gonna lie.
Wait, he has a track.
You heard this, Drake? You heard it, Nadia?
No, I'm just tripping that he even decided he was gonna throw his hat in.
He did. Everyone's going after Drake now.
We know you West Coast, Nick, but let Kendrick handle this. Kendrick got it. Y'all stop. Sit down. Shut up. Please shut up.
Kendrick, I'm sorry, Andre.
Kendrick said he still held back a little bit. So
I do feel like he still held back too. Cause I'm like, Chris Brown still went harder than all of y'all. So Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. But he did kill it.
Facts. With that being said, guys, we out.
Peace.
Peace.